Oh, you're almost at just over 3 years, right? 37 months. That's it now. Thank you for the subscription.
What you think about when you're born into a fire. Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. Our brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away, burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
And we feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race.
That's the end of that. Give me just a second. I think I'm gonna start looks maxing, guys. I don't know if I'm too late, but I have been hitting myself with a hammer, so the way I beat my dick, you'd think I had a hammer. Oh, sorry. It just came out. Anyways.
Hey daddies, it's me, the Linda Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to thank you for watching Cold Beer Confessionals with Will Bird. I think that's just incredible. I've watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in is Big Daddy's meat stick. I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage. You know, Linda and her coochie loves that. Oh,
Marita.
Let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially when it comes from the realm of Linda Bindaland. So,
Facebook keeps trying to get me to buy a boat.
Thanks for watching.
They must know I stayed at the lake for a couple days or something. I don't know. Welcome, everybody. I am Will Bird, and this is the Cold Beer Confessional. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. Welcome. We weren't live last night. Ryan's having some issues with some of her family members, so we weren't there last night. She was upset, so I went home, and here I am today. So welcome back, I should say. What else? It's been raining like hell here. Saturday it rained so hard I didn't even fucking work. Today it fucking rained off and on. Pretty crazy. I did go by work, but just to do a few small things. Guess I'll get back after it tomorrow. Looks maxing. That's what we're moving into. I'll be a looks maxer. You guys remember Clav? His whole world's kind of falling apart right now. Clav. That's not who we're talking about tonight, but still, his shit's like fucked up. Instead, we're going to talk about this guy.
Just get heel filler. You don't really need to smash it.
Wow, like Botox in your heel?
Like filler.
Is there a first part to this? Let me see. He's talking about injecting heel filler, F-I-L-L-E-R, to make himself taller. Yeah, there is a part one. Let's see part one first.
Today I'm sitting down with the most desperate looks maxer on the internet. You may have seen him embarrass himself all over TikTok and Instagram.
Why be sitting in this chair right now if I was fucking okay?
And now he's here to guide me through the mind of someone manic with the sole goal of going viral.
Why are you pressing me like this? These people here watching me fucking laughing is making me angry.
By the way, people make fun of this and joke about it and talk shit about it or whatever, but it's definitely part of like the social climate now. Like my kids know what looks maxing is. They know that people are on fucking peptides and TRT and shit like that. I told Liam today, Liam's like, Dad, for some reason, Liam all the time thinks that I'm having a mental breakdown or some shit. So all the time, just randomly, he'll be like, "Are you okay, Dad?" And he'll be like super serious. So today, and a lot of times I fuck with him. So today he came through and he's like, "Are you okay, Dad?" He like took off his gaming headset. And he's like, "Are you okay, Dad?" I was just holding an apple, standing in the kitchen like this. And he's like, "Are you okay, Dad?" And I was like thinking about eating a whole bottle of sleeping pills. He's like, "Oh yeah, maxing out a melanin milkshake." So like the maxing, the melanin milkshake, the maxing culture is part of the debate, even though they don't do it. Like my kids would never fucking do that. They're too smart, but they do know about it, know what it is.
What the f is wrong with you? Get this shit out of my face, dude. I'm the fucking villain. I'm the fucking villain.
Now let me ask you, if I break your legs and fingers, what color will you glow?
What? What does that even? I don't even know what that means.
Like a glow stick. You ever like break a glow stick and then it glows a certain color?
I'd probably be red.
Red?
Yeah, because I'm a fucking villain, yeah.
Wow. Now, for all the people watching who have jobs, can you explain what that means for them?
Fuck. Basically, I had this like beef with Clav or whatever.
Oh.
Which, I mean, it wasn't even like a beef. It was like a small...
He probably asked me if I'm okay. They probably see me freak out a couple times, like crowds and stuff, certain days and stuff going on. That's probably why I asked. But 9 times out of 10, or 99 times out of 100, I'm like, yeah, I'm fine.
but people made it up to something it wasn't. And I was like, you know what? I'm the fucking villain. Like, if you think Clav's bad, like, you're gonna see what I'm gonna do.
You know, in order to one up Clav, you got to drop the hard R.
That's not something I've actually done. And I don't really plan on doing it, yeah.
Well, then how are you going to be more of a villain than Clav then?
You gotta drop the hard R.
I mean, you're gonna have to watch it and see it, to be honest. Like, you'll figure it out. I mean, why do you think I got that nickname?
Yeah, but you just decided to call
This is the kid that started crying in the middle of a Looks Maxing interview.
yourself that, right?
And his voice was cracking and shit. It was bad.
Yeah, so...
I mean, people can take that any way they want. Like, sometimes you can look at someone and just know, like, look at the jacket I'm wearing. Do I look like a fucking villain? I scared you. I scare everyone I collab with, and that's why I say it. It's all part of a big story. Like, this is all strategic. I have the attention, and now I'm just gonna help people ascend and do what I actually want. So talk about looks, brain, all that.
But you're still going to be a jester afterwards. I want you to know that and understand that. But you'll at least be known as just a bigger jester than you are now.
Well, the thing is, I mean, if that were to be the case, it's either be known for something or don't be known at all. And most people don't have the privilege of being hated, so I see it as a privilege.
Okay. What percentage of your fans do you think eat their lunch in the school bathroom?
It's got to be a low-ass percent because they ascend.
Really?
Like, the average person who comes up to me is honestly, like, a bit better looking than you, I would say.
But would you say the majority of your fans are kids?
Ascension is, you know, going beyond, like, you Looks Max out.
For the clips, probably.
So you're saying these kids are really good looking? I'm literally saying what you said just now. Is there more to it?
You're fucking disingenuous for even saying that.
Am I being disingenuous?
First it was Togi and his Clav, and now it's fucking you and Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz is the only one on my side. Nobody's trying to help me right now, and I'm trying to tell you. It's like, I'm in this world alone, and I fucking no one, and it's like, how the fuck is everyone gonna turn me? Even you know, I looked up to you.
You're
5'2", brother.
Dude, we're the same height.
No, because you're not 5'2", right?
Yeah, we saw it. We watched the video.
7 fucking inches to your height.
We're the same height, dude. You're cooked. It's over.
Oh, you're
got his hat and his wig snatched.
My tiptoes. It's over for me, but it's also over for you. You know what I mean?
It's because they're on TRT so early, man. Fucking TRT cycles, and their body gets out of whack, and it's not producing its own fucking testosterone. They do way more. Like, TRT's not bad. Like, if you're an older guy or whatever, and fuck, I was doing shit that I shouldn't have been doing when I was in high school playing football. But TRT that like a 30 to 70-year-old man would take is nowhere near the levels that they're putting in fucking in gyms and shit, right? They're taking so much in gyms that your body senses or Looks Maxing. Your body says, hey, something's making all this testosterone. It's not us. And there's too much of it, so we should stop making it. And after a while, your body gets to where it does not make it. Then when you come off TRT, you can grow tits. You can do all kinds of crazy shit because estrogen comes in and your testosterone you're not making your own testosterone anymore. Your body's hooked on the needle.
Why don't you just start bone mashing your heels? You know, maybe it'll give you some inches on you.
I've tried that, yeah.
You've tried?
I've done the top of the head too, like.
Really?
Yeah, just for like that extra like quarter inch, but like the heel one is like.
Today I'm sitting down with the most desperate looks.
All right, part 2.
Heel filler. You don't really need to smash it.
Heel filler.
Botox in your heel?
Like filler. Like you can fill it up with like gel and it's like
No
natural.
way.
Yeah. I mean, I just wear height boosters. Like, let me grab this. Like, you just gotta wear height boosters.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's got hot boosters in his shoes.
And if have you heard of the Phantom method? It's like if a girl asks like, are you wearing them? You just shake your shoe and then they can't see it.
Oh,
so yeah, I'm not wearing height boosters. Like if anyone asks.
Wow. Okay, but let me ask you. So if you're height boosting and height maxing, but then it's time to go inside or go in a room where you don't wear shoes.
I think the like the peptide GLP-1s and the melatonin one and fucking the Wolverine stack and the Deadpool stack and Chloe and Glow and all those things. I think there is probably a lot of upside to that, and there's probably a lot of people doing it really well. And apparently, people have been doing it for 30 fucking years, like rich people. We just didn't know about it because we're like the normies. But there's also a bunch of idiots that can't do basic math. So you're telling me they're buying a dry powder, they're adding water to make it injectable, they're doing long fucking division to figure out how many milligrams per milliliter. Then they're referencing a chart based on their weight to get the right dose. They're going to die. Even just like I know junkies that wouldn't even use an alcohol swab when drawing up dope. They don't. So how many people are going to get infection or going to end up dead or going to overdose on something? Like it's fucking insane. Even when I was doing the math for it, because Mariah's going to a clinic, we're about to switch to a different process. Even when I was doing the math for it, like I had to check it like 3 or 4 times to make sure I was doing the math right because it just didn't seem right in my head. And you're telling me the average person is doing that? Bullshit.
What do you do then?
I've met the average person. They're dumb as fuck.
And it's like a countertop.
Listen to
Take
this.
the countertop. So you like lean.
If your height
So he asked him, like, if you're wearing hot boosters in your shoes or like shoes with extra thick sole, or you're walking around on your tippy toes or something, what do you do when you're getting ready to fuck, or you go in somebody's house and you take your shoes off?
boosting and height maxing, but then it's time to go inside or go in a room where you don't wear shoes, what do you do then?
You literally need to find the nearest countertop, and it's like a countertop. You got to take the countertop hill, so you like lean on it, and like you can literally lift yourself off the ground. It's like you elevate off the ground, and so you can do that. Or
So you do a Chris Angel levitation trick where you pick yourself up on a countertop and your feet aren't touching the ground, and they think you're taller.
just have to sag your pants and tiptoe, but that's just like surface level bullshit.
Sag your pants and tiptoe. So just drop your pants off your ass, be on your tiptoes, but your pants will cover it.
Also, you can like stick up like some hairs, and it's gonna make you taller too.
Ooh, okay.
And you can also like bushmax, where you like stand behind them, and it's kind of like, it's only called bushmaxing.
Okay. Why is it called bushmaxing? Guess, chat. So there's a technique to make yourself seem taller, and it's called bushmaxing. What do you think that is, chat? What do you think bushmaxing means? I'm pretty sure, I don't know this for sure, but I'm pretty sure it comes from this meme. Where Homer Simpson disappears into the bush. I think it comes from this meme, okay? I'm not positive, but I think it does. So, bushmaxing is where you always put yourself in a position that you're behind the girl you're trying to impress, so she doesn't know how tall you really are.
You can also like bushmax, where you like stand behind them, and it's kind of like, it's only called bushmaxing because they can't see you, so you always need to make sure they're walking in front of you, and if they turn around, you jump on your tiptoes, but then when they aren't looking, it doesn't really matter because they're not looking at you. And you need to lean back, so when you talk, your voice sounds like it's coming from higher, because if it sounds
You've got to lean back and talk into the air, so your voice sounds like it's taller.
too low, it's like, why is his voice coming from down there and not up here?
I don't think you ate enough vegetables as a child. So.
And like, you actually look pretty good. Like, I'm not even gay, and I'll be real, you're like HTN, which is like pretty rare.
What the fuck is that?
High tier normie. You're high tier normie.
High tier normie, and that's what, under Chad Light?
How the fuck do you know that? You've been watching me. You've been watching me.
I've never
you
watched
watch
a day in
every
my
single
life.
stream, front to finish.
I specifically skip your videos when I see it on my suggested page. I'm just tapped in. You know who I do watch is Clav. That's the real deal right
well,
there.
I mean,
that's the real villain right there.
You think Clav is the real villain?
Yeah, I do.
Apologize, please. Say sorry for saying that, please.
No, I mean,
I know high school and shit can be like tough and you know, cliques and groups, and a lot of people are like on looks and shit, but most people are still figuring themselves out, and it's not that important. It's not like you're gonna fall in love with a high school romance and get married and stay together for 30 fucking years. It seems like by the time you finish high school and college and are getting serious, you're like beyond these insecurities of, oh, I'm only, 5'9" or some shit. Like, what the fuck?
I typically watch stuff that I think would be entertaining or add value to my life, so if I haven't seen it, that's probably why. I've only just seen clips of you crying.
Don't bring that up.
I said, damn, who is this pussy? I gotta interview him.
Dude, that's not funny.
But honestly, you could use some TRT.
People say that. People say that I would look a lot better. Maybe it would masculinize my face a little bit. I might consider it.
It would
But
fill you out. Fill you out, like frame-wise.
I mean, usually I have on like these shoulder pads. I don't know where someone like fucking took them from me.
You wear shoulder pads?
Yes.
Do you use those for your pussy too?
I don't know why the fuck you would even say that. It's like funny. Like, why are these people laughing behind the camera? It's like actually annoying me right now. You know I'm gonna fucking...
You gonna cry?
No, you're gonna see the other side of me, man.
I feel like if your dad beat the shit out of you as a kid, like maybe you'd not crash out.
I mean, that would have been free bone smashing, so yeah.
Yeah, right.
But I did just do the thing, the under eye, like I said, the sperm injections under my eyes.
And how do you feel? Do you feel extra gay now, or
No, I don't, actually.
no? And what possessed you to do something like that?
So the guy who did it was actually gay.
Yeah,
But
you would have to be.
not just get heel filler. You don't really need to smash it.
Wow, like Botox in your heel?
Exactly, but then I just injected it in my face.
I think he's gonna crash out.
It removed my dark circles, and I think a lot of people would benefit from trying it.
So that's a proven study.
Yeah, but the issue is you still risk like blindness and stuff by injecting that.
So you literally risked blindness.
That I actually regret doing. I'll be honest, I regret doing it. It wasn't worth the risk.
Hey guys, have you ever wondered to yourself, how the fuck is Kono so goddamn beautiful? I'm not gonna keep it anymore.
Wait a second. What's
So that's a proven study.
Yeah, but the issue is exactly. But then I just injected it in my face, and then it actually gave me some crazy under eyes. It removed my dark circles, and I think a lot of people would benefit from trying it. So just
what did he inject in his face?
you don't really need to smash it.
Wow, like Botox in your heel?
See the thing, the under eye, like I said, the sperm injections under my eyes.
And how do you feel? Do you feel extra gay?
Sperm injections under his eyes.
But I did just do the thing, the under eye, like I said, the sperm injections under my eyes.
And how do you feel? Do you feel extra gay now, or
No, I don't,
no?
actually.
And what possessed you to do something like that?
So the guy who did it was actually gay.
Yeah,
But
You would have to be.
Well, not just get heel filler. You don't really need to smash it.
Wow, like Botox in your heel?
Like filler.
Sperm injections?
Exactly. But then I just injected it in my face, and then it actually gave me some crazy under eyes. It removed my dark circles, and I think a lot of people would benefit.
Salmon sperm.
That's a proven study.
Yeah, but the issue is you still risk like blindness and stuff by injecting that.
So you literally risked blood.
It says known medically as polynucleotide treatments. Salmon sperm injections use purified DNA from fish sperm to rejuvenate the delicate under eye area. The treatment stimulates collagen production and improves skin elasticity. This is generally used to reduce fine lines, combat crepey skin, and brighten dark circles without adding artificial volume. Rather than acting as a filler that plumps up hollow areas, polynucleotides act as regenerative skin boosters. Damn.
That I actually regret doing. I'll be honest, I regret doing it. It wasn't worth the risk.
Hey guys,
That's true. I keep giving them eye facials, but it always blacks her eyes.
have you ever wondered to
Running
yourself,
around looking like a
"This girl's so
panda.
goddamn beautiful. I'm not gonna gatekeep it anymore, okay? If you want a crazy phenotype, you gotta put down that 7-in-1 hair. This is why I use Tiege hand with SPF to protect from the sun. Level competitors nowadays.
I want to see if he.
I need a facelift.
It looked like they were teasing that he crashes out. Let's see.
Click the link below and get 40% off your first routine plus a free gift.
But I do have a protocol. I want to get calcium filler all around here. I need a facelift, but I need a deep plane facelift. So like there's like the surface level, I need a deep plane, and it's gonna upturn my features. The corners of my lips are downturned. Look at me.
Okay, I'll be fair. These before and after pictures look like they work, but you know you can manipulate a lot of this. See especially like right here. Let me zoom in. Right here, that's how my face looks, like all fucking worn out and shit underneath the eyes. Probably because I never fucking sleep, work multiple jobs. Anyways, and then afterwards, that looks a lot better, but maybe that's just the plumpness of an injection. Here's a couple more. Both those eyes. Not looking bad, but you can clearly tell there's some age there. And then a lot better, technically. I mean, is it true? Who knows? Before, a lot of fine lines in this one. I don't know if it's going to fix them or not, but oh shit, yeah. But you see, you can still see the little bloody dot. Is that just because they fucking put something under their skin? You know what I'm saying? Like, will it go away in a day? You know, when your body absorbs the fish sperm or whatever? Honestly, that's probably how mine look. A lot rougher. I'm not getting that close to the camera, but that's probably how my eyes look. Damn, to be young again, bro.
Yours seem to be neutral about.
I can't believe I'm having this conversation. I feel really good.
Cooked. These downturned, cooked. Yours seem to be positive. So if I do that, it'll fix this, and give me an OG curve, which is this right here. A lot of people think they have chubby cheeks. It's actually something called jowls, which is loose skin. Getting the facelift will give me hollow cheeks, basically, without removing the volume of the fat.
So you retards basically believe that by ascending,
Damn, look how
that
bad
is basically
mine
the key
are.
to success. Like you look at ascending as literally like climbing up the social ladder on social media. Is that correct?
It's no doubt that ascending will move the needle. And not to mention, getting surgeries or doing extreme things is just viral in general. So it's not that looks itself will get you there. Brain is the most important thing.
I don't know how to fix
Ascending your
it.
looks is now interesting because of how viral looks maxing is. So like I said, even you would benefit from that. People start making edits of you. You know who I aspire to be like is Fuzi.
Yeah.
How'd you know that?
These are usually people that parents have money and they're kind of living off that tab.
Because you guys are the same. You're
Usually.
What? No, we're not.
Yeah, you look bipolar, man.
The people that are like influencers about this and this is all they do and all they got into and they started when they were fucking 14 or whatever, it's usually because they're living like Clav was living off his parents' money running around until he's making his own now. I'm not saying he doesn't make any money. He makes a shit ton from streaming, but they all got started living at the parents' house under their parents, paying their bills and shit and got into all this.
Don't put me in that. I'm not.
Then why else would you be like FuziTube?
I think he's funny.
And you think you're funny?
No, honestly, no.
So it's not that. It's because you're both manic. Do you ever plan on fighting at brand risk?
Fuck yeah, I'm gonna fight someone.
Baby alien?
Yeah. Because if I fight him, he will decrease the average male length in America. Because I don't know if you've heard the rumors, but where he lacks height, he makes up for. And if I beat him, it proves that I can, make an impact, and I'm decreasing the average length of a male in fucking America.
Yeah, I'm a little lost here.
Exactly. But then I just injected it in my face, and then average male length in America. Because I don't know if you've heard the.
Not that. It's because you're both manic. Do you ever plan on fighting at brand risk?
Fuck yeah, I'm gonna fight someone.
Baby alien?
Yeah. Because if I fight
Baby alien?
the average male length in America, because I don't know if you've heard the rumors, but where he lacks height, he makes up for. And if I beat him, it proves that I can, make an impact, and I'm decreasing the average length of a male in fucking America.
Yeah, I'm a little lost here.
Exactly. But then I just injected it in my face, and then it actually gave me some crazy.
Are you planning on killing him? Like removing him?
No, just like.
Does he crash out or not?
That be decreasing the male?
I just fucking told you can't hear because I'm not because you look gay, but because I don't think you hear a lot because you would hear about me. But besides the point, if I banish him to another country, it's gonna decrease the average length in America.
I mean, I think that's a fair fight, because you guys have like the same height and weight.
What the fuck? I'm not the same fucking height.
Then why?
Oh, baby alien is a kind of
Yeah, what?
It's this guy. I did not know that's what they called him. I have seen him before though. It's this guy.
So we're back on the stream. I'm out here with her bud.
How you doing, man?
Hey, what's your name?
Brian.
Brian.
Yeah.
So he said he's gonna teach me how to swim.
We're gonna find out where the situation is where Mr. Baby Alien.
I have never really learned how to swim.
I think Hassan's kind of full
The
of
power
shit.
of Christ
I don't know
compels
if
you
we need
to
somebody
give little
more
Bert
left
a
than
little
this one.
kiss.
That's not my cup of tea. Maybe that could be you.
You're saying basically you're planning on fighting baby alien.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to cut down.
I think you have to gain some weight.
I don't know why the fuck you would say that. That's just that.
Didn't Aiden wrong say that he was thinking about it?
Santa Cruz told me that Aiden texted him asking if I should get on because he knows because I'm backed by the elite, so obviously.
And did Santa Cruz vouch for you?
I don't know, but I'm probably gonna go train with him soon. So he's gonna like help me out of this state
Yeah, you should. How long does a typical episode last?
of locked in or what?
No, being manic.
Are these people like, and this fucking people back here right now, like, do they sit here and like think that what you say is okay?
Yeah.
I hate that you smile. Like, why the fuck are you smiling when I say that?
I can't smile and enjoy my life.
Not when I'm
Nice
speaking
person.
something serious. If someone was holding you at gunpoint, would you smile? This is worse than that.
If they're mogging, I might smile.
You made me fucking cry like 2 times. Borderline. You're making me say I'm gay and all this shit. Do you want me to crash out? I'm not fucking gay.
No, I mean, on this show, what I do is I ask honest questions. That's all I do. You know, and I'm a little unfiltered, so maybe it comes across as if I'm trying to put you in a corner. Well, you're not in a corner. You're in a closet.
Dude, I'm not in the fucking closet. I would openly say right now I'm fucking gay if I was gay. I'm not gay.
You just did.
I'm not gay. Why are you pressing me like this? These people here watching me fucking laughing is making me angry. What the fuck is wrong with you? Get the shit out of my face, dude. I'm the
I look staged as fuck, dude. I look staged as
Plan on
fuck.
killing him? Damn, that's crazy. 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 Damn, that's fucking crazy. The Guardian.com.
All right, that looks staged as fuck, but there you go. That was his crash out. That is the hold on. See if the video's still up of him crying. This guy. If I was okay, would I be here right
The
now?
thing people don't know about climaxing is like you actually have salt in your tears. So what I do is I take the tears and I put it in my hair and it's almost like sea salt, bro. It's not fucking funny. I don't complain that. So the thing people don't know about
Climaxing.
you actually have salt in your tears. So what I do is I take the tears and I put it in my hair and it's almost like sea salt, bro. It's not fucking funny.
Dylan Latham.
So the thing people don't know about climaxing is like you.
Climaxing. Proof Clav the fraud is only 5'8". Height 5'11". Wait. His arrest warrant says he's 5'11" with height boosters. The sad moment Clav realized he can't trust no one after his best friend Dylan Latham used his yacht for ADs. 4-inch difference, 5'4", so 5'8".
So the thing people not fucking funny stuff. So the thing people don't know about climaxing is like you actually have salt in your tears. So what I do is I take the tears and I put it in my hair and it's
Dude, like he needs years of therapy. Like I don't know what his family did. He needs years and years and years of family.
Can you, dude, Connor?
Oh shit! What the fuck?
What? Don't laugh. What? You think my girlfriend's attractive? Because just because she thinks I'm gay and she thinks you're attractive does not mean that I'm gonna let this slide. Tell by looking in your hunter eyes what the fuck is good right now. Why would you do this to a villain? Just because I'm a villain, I'm not a fucking monster. I'm a human fucking being. Is it not clocking to you that I'm standing on business? Dude, don't laugh. I hate that people fucking laugh. Can someone take me serious?
Something. What's your goal here with like the character?
There's no character at all.
It's not a character. It's all real life.
Why would does this look like a character to you, or does it look like I'm a guy who's trying to spread his fucking message like the equivalent of like a former president? Can you, dude, Connor?
Oh shit!
He just when this clip
Don't
starts, is he snorting something off the table?
Can you, dude, Connor?
Yeah, there's a fucking dollar bill rolled up in his hand.
Don't laugh. Can you, dude, Connor?
Oh shit! What the fuck?
What? Don't.
Damn, these kids do not give a fuck, do they?
When I finally got a grip on MAGA, you know, months earlier than many other people, which is why I kept saying, well, I put it this way. I made a lot of money off $1 bets that Trump was going to beat Hillary Clinton, when a lot of people didn't. It's kind of the stuff of Cuomo mythology. Why did I think that? Because I realized that the ugly things that I saw coming out of MAGA, the prejudice, the white nationalism, the Christian nationalism. That was the
that
few.
was made up by the Southern Poverty Law Center?
And no, it wasn't made up. Oh, please, Katie.
Yeah, the
you don't want any of that
Charlottesville rally was,
I promise you.
led by the Southern Poverty Law Center.
If you think white nationalism is made up,
that's not even what the indictment that she's talking about says. The indictment is because they paid people on the inside of some of these groups that they technically supported the groups. You know what I'm saying? Like they had paid informants in the inside of these white nationalist groups and the inside of these fucking skinhead groups that were feeding them information. They gave them money for the information. It's not the same as them supporting or building the group or financing the group. You know what I mean?
Southern Poverty Law Center. No wonder you don't have a problem with what J.D.
The kind
Vance
you're
said
talking about in MAGA is it's made up by the Southern Poverty Law Center. It absolutely was.
So there are no real bigots in MAGA.
And an indictment by DOJ to show it.
So there are no real bigots in MAGA. There are no real white nationalists. They've all been put up to it by the Southern Poverty Law Center. Like January 6th was an inside job by the FBI.
That's what the indictment says.
What indictment says? What indictment says that the FBI did January 6th? I love hearing the conspiracies.
I was talking about the indictment of the Southern Poverty Law Center in Alabama, which details how the Southern Poverty Law Center specifically paid the organizer of the Charlottesville rally to take people to and from to make up this fake hate rally that they then used against the president and the right for years. SPLC has been accusing conservatives and the right of false white supremacy for over a decade and defrauding their donors by buying things like
if you think they created white supremacy, if you think the Southern Poverty Law Center created white supremacy,
they did. It's
you go with that, Katie. I'll tell you what, because I've met a lot of people with dead family members in the South who don't think the Southern Poverty Law Center is responsible.
It's about SPLC
First of all,
and the left
an indictment,
manufacturing their political arguments.
An indictment, not to mansplain, but an indictment is a charging document. It's a bunch of allegations, not facts. And they are not even charged with doing anything like organizing it.
Thank you very much.
Well, then don't make it sound like it's a fact, because it's not a fact. If you know what it is, then you know you shouldn't represent it as a matter of fact, right?
Okay, Chris, I don't need you to lecture me about belittling the American people, talking to me about how I don't know what an indictment is. I've been working in this industry for 20 years, and you sitting here and acting like I don't know what I'm talking about is ridiculous. It's absurd.
No,
you're being very disrespectful.
Well, listen, I don't mean it that way, Katie. I want to try to get to what's behind some of these arguments. Like, I think going after the Southern Poverty Law Center,
I don't think you're doing the best way.
I think that's dangerous. I think J.D. Vance saying it's okay to commit a burglary
and false white supremacy
is dangerous.
And falsely accusing conservatives of white supremacy is dangerous. I think saying that people are hateful, like Charlie Kirk, putting him on a hate watch map is dangerous, and he lost his life as a result of this fomenting of this fake narrative
what he believes.
Seen terrorizing the right forever from places like the Southern Poverty Law Center, which, yes, have been indicted by a grand jury, by the Department of Justice, that lists a set of facts they will use in federal court, in front of a judge, and in front of juries to make their case. That is real.
They're not
and
facts.
If you want to deny it, you can, but it is a fact.
No.
What
That's
are
not
they
fact.
then? They're just made up? They're made up? What are they then?
An allegation is an uncorroborated suggestion that must be proven at trial by material and competent evidence that is found compelling to a judge or a jury. Otherwise, it's just a charging document. But an indictment doesn't have facts. An indictment is putting something forward that they'll believe they'll prove, as a matter of fact. Maybe, we'll see. And if they show that the Southern Poverty Law Center set up the Charlottesville thing, they should all go to prison. If they can show beyond a reasonable doubt that people at the Southern Poverty Law Center created hate groups, they should all go to prison, Katie. I'm here for it. And if you get that story, I will have you lead the whole show. I'll be your correspondent on it.
Well, I have my own
you
show
can have
at 10
my whole
p.m.,
hour.
so I appreciate that.
I know, but I'm saying I'd give you both hours.
At 10 o'clock. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Because I want that. I want us to get to a place where we just call right and wrong everywhere. If the Southern Poverty Law Center did that, wrong. If Biden did it, wrong. If the Democrats did it,
maybe you should accept that it's a real indictment and take the facts seriously.
I believe that it's a real indictment. An indictment is not a set of facts. And a lot of times they can't prove it. So, look, isn't that your point about Trump? Just because he was indicted, do you believe he was guilty of everything he was accused of in the indictments?
there were some of the facts that were proven to be true and some of them that were not. And a lot of them were developed in a false nature by political actors who we saw for years and years and years tried to keep.
So the indictments about the Southern Poverty Law Center are true, but the indictments about Trump, well, you know, some of them,
the president out of politics while they claimed they were for democracy and preserving this right that we have. Well, they destroyed his reputation with false smears. When it comes to the Southern Poverty Law Center, over 10 decades, we know what happened. There are many examples of people talking in detail about things that were happening to them and the terrorizing the SPLC did to them and put them on maps, like the Focus on the Family was terrorized. There were a number of people who testified as a result of this out of court for years about what the SPLC was doing. So that is real. But if you want to go back into what Trump was indicted for, we have litigated that over and over again. That was a political witch hunt.
I'm not relitigating it.
Oh, it's a witch hunt, unless it's about the Southern Poverty Law Center.
Trump was indicted. Everything in the indictment was not true. I agree with you. The Southern Poverty Law Center has been indicted.
I think you're making an absurd comparison between the SPLC indictment and the indictment against President Trump. They are not comparable in any way. It's completely different scenarios, completely different political arenas, completely different contexts in terms of years of what had happened before.
You see this wrench right here? This
shit, my bad.
I think we have to
exposing those facts.
Well, listen, I'm here for it because we got to get to a place of right and wrong. I don't play favorites with it. I promise you that. And I only like having you here because I think you're very good at explaining what is happening from that perspective.
Well, that's not what you said in the first half of this segment. So
no, all
I appreciate you saying that now. Thank you.
All I said, it's all I ever say whenever I talk about you. I think you're doing a great job, and I think you're a great, it's great to have us here to be able to do this, in my opinion. But all I'm saying is, for you to put forward that what Vance is saying doesn't mean what it obviously means, I think is assuming that the people hearing it are stupid. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you think people are stupid.
I don't know why you're asking me to speak for him.
No, I was just helping you to help me understand it, and you did. You told me why you think he's putting himself out there as different. I get it, and you're always welcome to make the case.
All right, your producer's saying we got to go. So I'm going to say we got to go. Thank you for having me on your show. I appreciate it. I don't want to get yelled at anymore.
You're always welcome. And Katie does have her own show, 10 p.m. every night at News Nation. Definitely worth a watch. Katie, thank you. Have a good one. I finally got a grip.
She got fucking owned, dude. And she's too dumb to realize
President Trump has been telling...
Too brainwashed, can't back out now. I don't know. She got fucking owned.
The public about the very serious vandalism that happened here at the reflecting pool on June 8th. While I've known about it since the morning of June 9 when it was discovered, it was only yesterday that I got the visual evidence that I needed to prove the serious vandalism that happened with a knife right here.
That's not even in the... This is the part they painted. What the fuck are you talking about?
Visual evidence that I needed to prove the serious vandalism that happened with a knife right here.
That's not in the liner. It's above it. On June 9, 2026, after the rehabilitation project was substantially completed, the U.S. Park Police responded to an NPS report of damage to the reflecting floor, including a caulk over the foam sealant that was cut with a sharp knife or razor, and destruction of delaminating surface something. I don't know. They covered it in yellow. And some post tops were taken. I did hear about that. Fence post tops were taken. None of this is what they even claims that happened. 170-foot gash now. Finger width gap. That's not a finger width gap. Look how zoomed in we are. See this granite? See the speckles in the granite? That's not a finger width gap. Foam and caulk cutout. It doesn't look cut at all. Looks maybe ripped or fell out. Paint marks evidence. Fence connectors inside the pool. I did see this fence post top thing. Someone took them and threw them in the pool.
It's letting you know.
Yeah, this bitch has been like embedded, sucking these dudes off every day. And they let her spray some of the coating and crazy shit. Trump said you couldn't cut it with a knife. It could not be cut with a knife. No one got down in the water and did this, you stupid bitch. There's videos of this 24/7. You're telling me someone dove in the water and cut out this weird, very organic shape?
President Trump has been
So serious. Violent attack. How can it be violent against property? You know what I mean? Is that possible? Is that something we can do? All right, here you go. Everybody got run out of the fair for some reason.
Do you ever in your wildest dreams think you may be doing your Sunday show from a state fair on the national?
From an empty field on the National Mall? All right, on screen now, you can see the attendees of Donald Trump's National State Fair being kicked out and escorted to leave. All 27 people that decided to show up for day 4 had the rest of the day canceled, postponed, moved due to inclement weather, due to rain, due to flooding, due to poor planning, poor turnout, but most importantly to me, due to the fact that Donald Trump hijacked the original America 250 celebration that was going to happen and decided to create his own knockoff version, a parallel organization called Freedom 250. I mean, literally on screen now, you can see somebody pointing people out to the exit before the event had even really started for the day. I mean, even more sad, you have Caroline Levitt, who posted right before this, "Fun day at the Great American State Fair. How cool is it that we are alive during this historic time and we get to experience America's..."
I don't think anybody's fucking there. By the way, what the saddest part of this is the Smithsonian was planning an actual thing called America 250. And it was going to be a huge fair with headline entertainment. They had raised millions of dollars to put it on. Every state was going to have these different demonstrations. They did like an actual real thing. Trump canceled theirs, refused to issue them permits for theirs, and took it over and made it his own, where he just invited Trump supporters from those states that were political or whatever to do their own shitty version of it. Like it was gonna be a real fucking thing. That would have been a fucking awesome experience, I think. The Smithsonian put it on, so lots of people, it was bipartisan. Lots of people got behind it. I'm not saying the left should have did it instead of the right. It was bipartisan, right? It had nothing to do with politics. Trump turns it into this weird fucking hand out to his friends and rally.
His 250th birthday. Looking forward to making more lifelong memories. But if you zoom in on the picture below, you can even see in this picture that there is nobody there. The dozens of people that did decide to show up today got completely rained out, including Caroline Levitt. I'm assuming she got kicked out as well, along with everybody else.
She getting some big tits, dude. She always had those
tragedy of it all.
Fucking bazungas, dude.
Bipartisan committee approved by Congress, both sides, that we're going to throw a national festival of all festivals. That we're going to.
I mean, if you zoom in, it's bigger than that baby's head. Maybe that's a tiny-headed baby. Am I going to have to pull this up in paint? Hold on. We'll get to the bottom of this. Don't you worry. I'm a man here for the people. She didn't just have that baby. That baby looks too old. I feel like I'm seeing her in a brand new light. Is this objectifying her? I think that's pretty goddamn similar. Okay? That's pretty close. Conspiracy? Who knows? Could be. Should we save this, chat? Looks like Jeff B's head.
It turned into the most grandiose parade since America's 200th celebration, and Donald Trump tore that up for his own narcissistic reasons. Now,
I notice things, okay? That's what I do. That's what I get paid the big bucks for, okay? I notice things.
We have video after video after video of the fair being entirely rained out. Watch.
Vibe check.
Amanda Moore says, I've been asked for a vibe check at the Great American State Fair today. So here you go.
Dude, the Smithsonian thing sounds awesome. Like, to the point where I don't know that my family would have traveled to D.C. Maybe we didn't have the money. Maybe we didn't have the time. Maybe we couldn't schedule it. But it was something that I would be interested in trying to get to take the book. It's, you know, you only get one 250th. The Smithsonian thing sounded awesome. And someone that worked on that, well, multiple people now. First, one person came out on Reddit or Twitter or somewhere and posted, hey, I worked for this, and it was going to be this, not what Trump's doing. And it sounded awesome. Then a couple more people came out and said, yeah, that's true. We were working on this. They wouldn't give them permits to host the America 250 on the mall or whatever they call it. Instead, they changed it to the Freedom 250, and Trump got all his buddies kickbacks so they could put in booths and stupid shit. Literally, some of the booths are just the sign of the state and 2 couches or 2 chairs.
Just to give you guys the context of this Freedom 250 versus America 250.
The North Carolina one is about NASCAR. Fine, that's North Carolina calls himself the birthplace of NASCAR, but it's also got the North Carolina flag with the rebel flag in it. You know what I'm talking about? Like the NC flag with the rebel flag instead of the red and white stripe. Like what possession? Why do you do that? That's not the North Carolina flag. It's like, why even bring that flag? Here it is. This is the flag they had up in their booth.
We're here for those who build
Shut up.
America.
Shut up. You'll play unless spoken to. You hear me? In a statement, a spokesperson from the exhibit told our news gathering partner Spectrum News that the image was not approved for their booth. As soon as we were made aware, we immediately removed the video and began reviewing how it even occurred. Our focus remains on celebrating America's 250th birthday and somebody put it in there, right? And it wasn't like it was a video playing and this popped up for like 1/10 of a second. The video I saw, the person was in a booth for 2 or 3 minutes, and the entire time there was 2 of these flags up there. It says the state of North Carolina did not sponsor a booth at the fair, citing high costs. Instead, the exhibit was funded completely by private donorships or private sponsors and donorships. One of the sponsors, Mount Olive Pickle Company, that's the pickle brand I always see around here. Maybe it's not nationwide, but it definitely in our area, they're pickles. See the Mount Olive logo there? They pulled their shit. They have withdrawn their participation and sponsorship. They said, we are proud of our North Carolina roots, and we agreed to be a part of the exhibit as presented to us. That would represent the best of our great state. We were unaware the image of the Confederate flag was included in a video as part of this exhibit, and we have withdrawn our participation. Our company stands on values of human dignity, opportunity, and freedom. The governor's office also responded, calling the display unacceptable. This display does not reflect the North Carolina that we love. America 250 is about unity and bringing our nation together, glorifying the divisive symbol. Somebody did this on purpose. Like, this wasn't an accident. Hold on. What the fuck is this?
I'm going to run my ass off, but I hope I don't fall down that ladder.
I gotta watch this now.
In the hole of the killer wasp hornet's nest. I'm gonna run my ass off, but I hope I don't fall down that ladder. And I think pretty much I'm not gonna be able to see by the time I do this because I look like a bumblebee right now. Or a fishbowl or something, but I cannot see. But it's gonna work out good. Everyone thinks I'm gonna die, but it's not gonna happen. Got the smoke. Got the tinfoil hat, thanks Bobby Eldridge. Who would have thought it's not just for aliens, it's for killing bald-faced killer hornets. All right, here we go. I'm gonna stick this. You guys will see. Turtle man, please, Turtle man. I'm actually really, really scared because I know the cigarette's not gonna work. I actually can't see, and the tinfoil hat will probably get struck by lightning or something. But here we go. Oh my God. All right, hold on. Let me fill with the thing right there. Okay.
I've seen it. I've been to the Dixie Shop. It's in Myrtle Beach.
All right, I'm really scared. Here we go. See the smoke? It's working. Hold on. Let me fix my goggles so I can't see shit. All right, see that? Okay, there we go. There we go.
He's going to stick a firework in that bee's nest.
All right, hold on. Let me clean it a little more. Here we go. All right, got the smoke. Got the lighter. Gonna push it up like that. Just like that. Perfect. Perfect. You ready?
Yeah, we like Mount Olives. You're right. Richard Childress Racing, a bunch of the NASCAR teams, I'm sure, have a bunch of races. But it's just like a fucking Southern thing. When I went to races, you see Confederate flags everywhere. You hear people use the N-word constantly. It took forever for them just to get a black driver, into the top series.
Don't get scared.
Do it in the daytime, you little bitch. Dude. In Arizona, it's almost, so Africanized honeybees have been found in all lower 48 states, or all continental 48. In Arizona, it's getting to the point where you cannot have a beehive because the Africanized honeybees just take over. And over the last couple of weeks, I've seen so many videos of these. Someone disturbs the nest in like a city area or like a small town or neighborhood. Someone disturbs the nest. This was a lady that was a beekeeper, and she was like, I was just out there a week ago, and the bees were fine. They weren't aggressive or anything. And I didn't even have a bee suit on a week ago. And then the next time she does it, the day of the video, she puts her bee suit on because she saw that her hive was kind of leaning, and she just wanted to prop it up, like put a brick under it or a little paver to like prop it up because it was like leaning over. And she went out there, and man, they come out and shut down a couple blocks of a city attacking people. Africanized honeybees are fucking terrifying, and they just take over regular beehives. They take over fucking paper wasp nets. They take over everything.
Wake them up. Oh boy. They're really big. Almost there. Light it first.
Of course, it's gonna be a fucking part 2. Can he not light the motherfucker? What is he going on? It's not that hard to light a fuse, bro. Damn.
And stick this.
Damn. Anyways. A killer bee movie all the time. I want to see a video because I don't think they're saying it was a video clip, like it changed or something. The whole time I saw the person in the booth, it was one thing. It was literally on one thing. It did not change. It wasn't like just for a portion of a video. And I would say the person was in there for a good couple minutes. Is this a video?
Confederate flag display at the Great American State Fair in Washington the fair due to the high costs, so the booth is sponsored by private. His video shows multiple Confederate flags on mounted TV screens. Jones shared a video. Spectrum News correspondent Reuben Jones shared a video walking through NC's interactive exhibit.
Reuben Jones.
Here at the Great American State Fair, visitors on Friday were surprised when they walked into the North Carolina Pavilion and saw that there was an image of a Confederate flag projected on multiple
See that? That's a video.
A spokesperson
and it's not changing. Did you see that? They make it seem like, oh, we didn't know that was part of the video presentation. It looks like it's just a static fucking screen, bro, with just a rebel flag on it. Like, I know they've changed it now.
And saw that there was an image.
See, it's just a regular North Carolina flag now.
Of a Confederate.
It didn't used to be.
Projected on multiple screens. A spokesperson for the companies that are running this booth said that it was an unapproved image and that it was immediately taken down. This video.
Okay, maybe it is a video. I just saw some NASCAR part of it right there. I don't know if they've changed it now or not.
This video, posted by Reuben Jones at Spectrum News, shows TV monitors
there it is.
The Confederate flag side by side with a portion of the current North Carolina.
See, nothing changes.
Governor Josh Stein called for the flag. North Carolina's governor side by side with a.
If it's a video of other things, it stays on there a long fucking time.
North Carolina flag. North Carolina's governor Josh Stein called for the display to be removed and issued a statement condemning it.
I don't know. It's pretty fucked up, huh? Who made that decision, dude? Who made that decision? Stepped in a ground nest while cutting some branches. Yeah, I got stung. I get stung every year. I've already been stung a couple times this year. One year, I was getting stung so bad that Mariah locked me out of the house. I had stripped down. I wasn't wearing nothing but fucking boxers. Had to jump in the neighbor's pool. I mean, they were fucking eating me up, dude. When I stepped in a hole, and when I looked down, they weren't even fucking flying yet. When I looked down at my ankle, I had on shorts. When I looked down at my ankle, it looked like, you know how when they take a beehive apart, it's like bees hanging on each other, and it just looks like they're just all bees just on each other. It looked like that on my ankle, like they were coming up my fucking leg, and I freaked the fuck out. I started running, and I was ripping off fucking clothes, started getting stung. I pushed the lawnmower like away because it was still running. It was a push mower, but it was still running to let go of the bar. I pushed it away, but we lived on a hill, so it went all the way down the hill, fucking crashed in the ditch and flipped over in the road, like the handles were in the road. I was running around the fucking house ripping shit off, dude. They were already in my shirt. Somehow, like, I was screaming for, like, Mariah. And one of them stung me on the inside of the mouth, and, like, I fucking bit a couple of them. I could feel them try to go in my nose, my ears. God, I was freaking out. Threw my hat. I was ripping off clothes. They were so deep on my chest. I probably got stung, I don't know, 50, 60 times plus. Like, so many fucking times. Anyways, they were in my chest hair. Like, I got a hairy chest. They were in my chest hair, and I was ripping out chunks of hair, trying to get them off, and squished them in my hands. And Mariah heard me screaming and knew someone was chasing me. And so the way our house was is a split foyer, and I was right beside the front door. But you can't get in the front door. It always stayed locked and deadbolted and shit. And I knew Mariah was in the kitchen. So I had to, like, run up the hill, around the house, onto the back deck. That was even with the hill. It was, like, above our driveway, but even with the hill. So I ran up, got on the back deck, and Mariah heard me coming. And she locked the fucking door while I was trying to get in the house. Locked the fucking door while I was trying to get in the house. I could have killed her. When I finally and so I ran over to the neighbors and dove in the fucking pool and was still, like, trying to fucking get them off of me. The neighbor come out and was like, "What are you doing?" I couldn't fucking, I thought I was going to die. Like, I know I'm not allergic to bees, but if you get stung that many times, like, there's a chance anybody can fucking die from it, right? You're just getting filled with their poison. And they tag you with a pheromone that makes them that makes them sting you more. Literally, once you get hit, they'll go past other people to come fucking sting you. And depending on your metabolism, the pheromone can stay like 3, 4, 5 days in your system. And if you go near any of their fucking bees, they'll fucking come pick you out of a crowd. Anyways, when I finally got to talk to Mariah, I was so fucking pissed. And she's like, "Well, I knew something was chasing you. I didn't want it to get in here." And now she tries to say, "I had a bait. I was protecting Liam. He was in there. I didn't want..." Liam wasn't even there. dude. Liam was at Mariah's mom's for the weekend, but she likes to pretend like she was Mama Bear in it, protecting the kids. She was just scared what was going on and locked me the fuck out of the house. God, I was so mad. I've never been that mad about being locked out of my own fucking house.
I covered this in another video, but this says, I worked at the Smithsonian, specifically...
Yeah, I swelled up and everything. Like, not like a full-blown allergic reaction, didn't have trouble breathing, but like fucking swelled up and like patches like this fucking big where I got stung by like 10 of them in a certain area. Like huge fucking lump. It just looked disgusting.
Raising money for the 250th. What I want people to know is that we secured millions of...
Here it is. I worked at the Smithsonian specifically raising money for the 250th. What I want people to know is we secured millions of private philanthropy to host a month-long folk live festival on the mall. The Festival of Festivals was going to feature well-known festivals, think Burning Man, Farm Aid, Grand Ole Opry, etc., as well as small, local, and regional festivals from across the U.S. and territories. Goal was to feature truly the best and most beautiful creative expression in music, dance, and arts and craft traditions, food, community, etc. Can't name names, but plan was to have headliners every night for free concerts. Think the types of names who might be affiliated with the aforementioned large festivals. Stars were willing to perform because it was under the banner of the Smithsonian. It had to all be scrapped because the administration would not release permits to host on the mall. The money went elsewhere, but our nation was robbed of what would have been a once-in-a-generation cultural movement. This would have been cool as shit, dude. Like the way like my parents talked about like the centennial celebrations and shit. Like this could have been cool as hell. Nope.
Private philanthropy to host a month-long folk life festival on the mall, the Festival of Festivals. It was going to feature well-known festivals like Burning Man, Farm Aid, Grand Ole Opry, as well as smaller local and regional festivals from across the U.S. and territories. The goal was to feature truly the best and most beautiful creative expression in music, dance, arts, and craft traditions, food, community. Can't name the names, but there were going to be huge concerts, huge headliners, the types of names that would want to be affiliated with that festival under the banner of the Smithsonian, but Donald Trump refused the permits to anybody else, hijacked it, fundraised his own money, gave the contracts to his friends in a no-bid manner, and is now making a shit ton of money off of it. And today, it was postponed. The sign right here not only says the event is postponed, but is even spelled wrong. It says, the Great American State Fair, event postponed due to severe weather. This event is postponed. Go to Freedom 250 social media for more updates. Please proceed to the nearest exit. If you look at this, it says, go to FREEEDOM 250 on social media. I mean, Trump are so illiterate, they're not going to get to this point anyways, but if they did get to this point, they would be sent to the wrong social media account, the wrong website, and won't even be able to get updates about Donald Trump's failing fair that cost us money and is now being rained out. Can I really quickly just pivot to show you some hope for a second? Because while this was happening in DC, we had pride parades across the country kicking off. We've seen them throughout Pride Month, of course, but in Chicago today, where I live, in New York, and in other cities, there were some really massive pride parades. And I think it's interesting to look at the side-by-side between the turnout, the vibe, the overall atmosphere, and the mood of these pride rallies versus the vibe, atmosphere, and mood of America 250, or as Trump calls it, Freedom 250. As always, if you appreciate the videos on the Adam Mockler feed and you want to help boost this message, a message of hope, returning to a human dignity-centered America where everybody can reach their full potential without Trump stripping away our rights, then make sure you drop a like. Make sure you subscribe to the Adam Mockler feed. We just filmed our weekly debate show that comes out Wednesdays at noon, and we're very excited for you to see this next episode, so turn on post notifications, and let's check out what Zohran Mamdani is doing. Someone pointed this out in the comments, but something that's really impressive about Zohran Mamdani is that he always looks very polished. Like he's somehow always out in public riding his bike, but he's never sweaty or out of breath or unpolished. He's always looking very clean. And I think that is a really interesting attribute, especially whenever I look at Trump, and Trump is always worn down with like wrinkly suits. It's just night and day. Something I found interesting and that cameraman Nate actually helped me source is this arc right here in New York City at the Pride Parade is full of a bunch of, Pride attendees who are having a great time. And this is almost a perfect analog to the same arcs that exist at this Freedom 250 event that have nobody standing next to them. I mean, on screen now is the Fox News booth that they set up in DC for this 16-day event, and each day becomes more humiliating than the last as Fox News hosts have to sit up there and talk about how the crowd is coming. The crowd is coming. You can't see it, but there's thousands of people out there. And every time the camera pans, it's just empty fields that we see over and over and over. But going back just 1 second, I want to play some more Pride videos because I do find it really satisfying. Check this out. I mean, it's packed. There's a lot of young people. There's a lot of diversity. There's a lot of diversity in lived experiences. And it all is just what America represents. The ability for people to have social harmony, to build towards their own future, and to not have their rights infringed by the government. In fact, we're supposed to decide how the government helps us. Yet Donald Trump wants the exact opposite. He wants to subvert Congress. He wants to betray people who voted for him. And one more Pride video, then I'm going to show you what Fox News is coping with today. This is in the great city of Chicago, where I live and where I work. I mean, genuinely, just great to see people having fun. Look at this. I was supposed to go to a parade with my girlfriend, but I got caught up filming multiple episodes of our debate show that comes out Wednesdays at noon. Back to the cold, hard, brutal, wet reality of America 250. Let's look at what Fox hosts are talking about today. This is Peter Doocy on the right. You guys know Peter Doocy, the Fox host who's always defending Trump. He sits there and tries to imply that everybody is just showing up.
You ever in your wildest dreams think you may be doing your Sunday show from a state fair on the
From an empty field on the National Mall?
You ever in your wildest dreams think you may be doing your Sunday show from a state fair on the National Mall? How great is this?
It's really something. And the weather, not the best today, but people are still coming out.
People are still coming. And listen, we need...
It looks like it. It's completely empty.
Rain, so we'll take it. Well, the farmers need the rain, so we're going to be okay with it.
We do need rain.
People are still coming out, he says. I don't see any people behind you, homie. Over the past few days, this has happened over and over and over. Here's another clip.
Well, you guys saw on the way over here, but I'm not kidding. I think there were thousands.
Yesterday, I said on air, hey, there's thousands of people. Some poo-pooers on the X are like, oh, thousands of people. The North Carolina booth was counting 880 people an hour coming through their booth.
Yeah.
So unless they have the same 880 people lined up going around, there are thousands of people here. And I'll tell you what, that's with...
The North Carolina booth was the one with the Confederate flag. This isn't the flex that you think it is. And also, let me pull up the clip of them talking about thousands of people showing up. There's a few points I want to make. First of all, number one, you can't even illustrate that there were thousands of people there. The crowd looks empty. But even if we were to grant that, that's not very impressive. I read to you guys earlier on in the video what the original plans were for this. It was an amazing celebration of music, dance, arts and crafts, food, community. Probably Beyonce would have performed. We would have probably had the ghost of Michael Jackson perform. Like, everybody would have been there. But instead, the range of musicians that were slated to perform had to pull out due to the hyper-politicization of it and the fact that it just turned into a 16-day Trump rally.
Happy early birthday, America. We're celebrating already at the Great American State Fair. Man, we've got thousands of people celebrating this birthday with us, Tommy.
I love the way he says it in this clip. Sorry, I've been watching this clip all day. He goes, we have got thousands. Like, if he says it with enough enthusiasm, that means it'll make it more impressive.
Happy early birthday, America. We're celebrating already at the Great American State Fair. Man, we've got thousands of people celebrating this birthday with us, Tommy. You and I had a chance to go out. We got to see some of the exhibits.
You know, as I was saying earlier, thousands of people isn't impressive given what this could have been. This could have been a massive celebration with massive artists, and instead we got the worst possible version. Here is the arc that exists there that is a very shitty toned-down version of what it was supposed to be. Thanks to Amanda Moore for posting this multiple-minute video. She's at NotTurtleSoup17 on Twitter, and it's just a breakdown, a zoom in of what this exactly looks like. Look at it, it's peeling off already. Lord have mercy. Was this made with paper mache? Is this like an arts and craft project? It went from a huge celebration of arts and crafts throughout American history to a literal arts and craft project made by Trump's dumb buddies who probably shouldn't be in charge of a hot dog stand. Look at this. Look at it. It's dripping. The paper is all detaching from it. Bro. Oh my God, the same journalist, Amanda Moore, just posted these photos of the buildings. Dog, who built this? Why are the pillars not touching the ground, and why do they also have not anything on top of them? What even is this? If this were my house, it would get swept away in a storm. Look at my house, dog. Oh my God, wait, it's not even real. It's legitimately not even real. When she goes to touch the wall. Okay, I'm beginning to think that this is a massive money laundering scheme. This could have been a massive celebration to be. Thanks to Amanda Moore for posting this multiple minute video. She's at NotTurtleSoup17 on Twitter. And it's just a breakdown, a zoom in of
So is this just like a mock-up of it or what?
What this exactly looks like. Look at it. It's peeling off already. Lord have mercy. Was this made with paper mache? Is this like an arts and craft project? It went from a huge celebration of arts and crafts throughout American history to a literal arts and craft project made by Trump's dumb buddies who probably shouldn't be in charge of a hot dog stand. Look at this. Look at it. It's dripping. The paper is all detaching from it. Bro. Oh my God, the same journalist, Amanda Moore.
Okay, it is a mock-up.
These photos of the buildings. Dog, who built this? Why
Trump had wanted a 200. This is a consolation arch. President Trump had wanted a 250-foot tall, the tallest in the world, triumphal arch monument to commemorate the country's 250th anniversary. But this all got tied up in legal proceedings, and the project is going to take years.
It is like paper mache.
So instead, he gets this. The real arch is supposed to be about 165 feet tall, 165 feet wide, with a 25-foot pedestal and then a 60-foot bronze Lady Liberty sculpture right on top. And this appears to be somewhat of a mock-up replica of what we can expect to see.
The one I saw looked like maybe 70 feet, 60 feet.
This?
It looks like it's just made of boards and paper. It's like paper mache.
Pillars not touching the ground, and why do they also have not anything on top of them? What even is this? If this were my house, it would get swept away in a storm. Look at my house, dog. Oh my God, wait, it's not even real. It's legitimately not even real. When she goes to touch the wall. Okay, I'm beginning to think that this is a massive money laundering scheme. So we had a $100 million fund that was approved in a bipartisan manner through Congress. That was called America 250. Donald Trump didn't grant permits to that organization and decided to host his own called Freedom 250. Freedom 250 ended up being an $80 million project that Trump gave to his friends. This $80 million project manifested in some pop-up, fake Roman pillars with multiple states that have nothing in their museums and people who get rained out. I mean, you couldn't hire somebody to spell the word freedom correctly when trying to shout out the social media. I guess I want to end this off with one final video of Pride happening in San Francisco. I genuinely love to see this. A bunch of happy, healthy, prideful Americans at this Pride rally, not being charged $4 for a water, $5 for a soda, $10 for lemonade, $10 for iced coffee. Oh my God. $10 for lemonade? What are they making this with? I'm going to leave it there. If you appreciate these videos, make sure you drop a like. Make sure you subscribe.
Ripping people the fuck off. Sounds like amazing.
JD Vance just dropped a bomb. JD Vance just dropped a bomb. Apparently, we're having a new vice president soon.
Thank you all. It's cool to be here. I'm going to give a shout out, of course, to the person I am replacing today, Carolyn Levitt, who hopefully is at home enjoying some time with her beautiful kids. I told Carolyn I would stand in for her today for the White House press briefing on the condition that when Usha has our baby in July, that she would be vice president for a couple weeks. So thank you, guys.
No offense to JD, but I'm pretty sure press secretary is a way harder job than vice president of the United States. JD Vance just dropped a bomb. Apparently, we're having a new vice president soon.
Thank you all. It's cool to be here. I'm going to give a shout out, of course.
I don't. What is this?
Welcome to another video.
So it's over. These are banned now. You won't be able to buy any new model DJI drones in the USA. And once the current stock runs out and this model becomes obsolete or the new models become obsolete, you won't be able to get the new one. So if DJI releases a DJI Mavic Pro Max double triple espresso version or something, you're not going to be able to buy it in the USA. And you know what? I'm very disappointed because I love DJI drones. And yes, the majority of my content, when I make videos for YouTube or on the China Show, I criticize the Chinese Communist Party and I criticize the aspects of China which most people are too afraid to do. And I criticize them for a reason. But one thing I won't criticize is the quality of these drones. DJI make the best consumer grade drones, hands down. And I've had a lot of experience. In fact, I'm one of the very early adopters of using drone shots in my YouTube videos. I used to call them gratuitous drone shots. If you've been around long enough, you'll know. And in the beginning, I was lucky enough to know people at DJI.
That North Carolina flag is the battle flag of North Carolina from the Civil War.
And in fact, I even had a speech for the people at DJI in their headquarters in Shenzhen many years ago. So I used to borrow things like Phantom 3s, Phantom 2s and stuff from the people at DJI, and I'd fly up and get these great shots. And this is before, of course, I could afford my own one. And I'll tell you something, man. It was the Wild West back then. There were no rules. The Chinese government hadn't caught on to the fact that, hang on a second, this thing is potentially a very powerful spy tool. So before they started to go around and accuse any foreigner with a drone of being a spy and arresting them or detaining them and deleting their footage and whatever if they caught them with a drone, I got away with a lot. I mean, I used to love it. I used to climb to the top of my building and fly it up there and get these fantastic views of the city during the day and at night.
It's wild. Like they, I think we saw this as Pokemon Go. Like I do think I don't think individually they'll be like spying on me, right? The Chinese government probably doesn't need a lot from me. There are probably people in positions that they might try to spy on and use that as leverage. But overall, if we think about thousands and thousands and thousands of drones being flown around, they got fucking LiDAR and all these different things and all these different programs around on the back of them to obstacle avoidance and taking this in. Like they could be mapping out all kinds of fucking details and stuff about the United States.
And I still have terabytes
or wherever they're flying
of footage that I shot in China. But not only China, of course, I shot stuff when I traveled. So in places like Mauritius and places like Taiwan, Japan, and of course the USA. And I kind of stopped making and including drone footage in my videos recently. And that's because I've got a bunch of state-sponsored wankers who work for the Chinese government who are out to try and destroy my life. And they will do anything possible to harass me. So flying a drone anywhere near I live, even in the city or the town that I live in, it gives them a clue as to where I am because they're constantly trying to dox me. Look, I'm not that kind of guy who's going to keep you hanging on and keep the facts from you and wait until the end and try to string you along so you watch the whole video. That's not my MO. That's not what I do. So I'm going to cut to the chase. I want to, first of all, tell you the ban, what it's all about, and the hypocrisy surrounding it. And then I want to tell you about 2 times that I almost got thrown in a gulag detention center for flying a drone in China. So, first things first. What's the actual story? Well, the U.S. government decided that, you know what, these things are a national security risk. I mean, about time. It took them long enough. And they decided that they're going to place a ban on any future sales. Okay, DJI reacted by suing the American government. It's ongoing. So they're suing them, saying that's not fair. It's whatever, unfair practice and all that stuff. You better let us sell our spy devices in your country. And I call them spy devices for a reason. When you fly these drones, you have to sign up with your real name and with a phone number and with an email address and all that stuff. You sign up to a DJI account, all right, which goes to the DJI servers in China. When you fly around, all of your telemetric data, all of the GPS data, and even the video feed can be accessed by DJI. So doesn't it make sense, DJI, which is a Chinese company, which again, I must stress, make the best, absolute best consumer-grade drones in the world. They're fantastic. But they're still a Chinese company, and therefore they're under the control of the Chinese government because no company in China is allowed to refuse a request from the Chinese government. If they want data, if they want information about a client, anything like that, the company has no choice. They must respond. They must tell the government absolutely everything. So yes, the US government is right to be very worried because potentially you've got now tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of flying eyes around the USA, which can be accessed by the Chinese government, the Communist Party of China, who's constantly trying to destroy the Western world, either through, sending fentanyl here and pretending they're not, or sowing division by using all these bots on Twitter to make you hate either Israel or hate Palestine or hate liberals or hate conservatives or whatever the case may be. Pick your poison. They're in there agitating. Terrible, terrible government. But here's a very, very interesting thing that I think most people don't know. DJI, which is currently suing the American government, saying, how dare you say that
their app came out. It's like I saw a screenshot from the Jiggle app that Jen sent me. I think Phil's he's been posting a bunch of stuff about SEC filings, but I'm almost positive he's trying to say that his name has his company's called Atom, ATOM, and he's attaching it to SEC filings for a neutral atom quantum computing company. Like, I'm pretty sure he just found something that had the word atom in it and it tried to attach. But the app launch, let's see. Let's see if I can get this up for you. This is the app. These are all apparently generated AI videos that use tokens to pay for some shit. Kind of looks like shit, and the fucking For You page or whatever they're calling it is all over the place. It's everywhere. Like, you scroll left, right, up, down, around. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, that's a crazy way to scroll, no? But yeah, the app launched in the US, I believe. That's what they're trying to say.
That we are a security risk. We are just trying to sell drones. DJI has been banned from selling drones in Beijing. So, the capital of China, where this comes from, the Chinese government has said these things.
Is that something? Oh, that was the rest of that video playing.
Such a security risk will not allow them to be flown or sold, even sold in the capital. So if you go to a DJI store in China, it used to look like an Apple store, but you'd have drones and those little cameras and microphones and stuff. It's mostly drones because that's what they do. If you go to a DJI store in Beijing now, nothing. Just a couple of little cameras and empty spots where all the drones used to be because they're not allowed to be sold. I have a friend who lives in Beijing. The police, he bought a drone in a different province. Okay, DJI drone. And came back to Beijing. He got the police visiting him at his door, asking.
And the jiggle price, the jiggle coin price doesn't matter at all because almost all the investors are locked in. They can't sell. There's already supposed to be some of them that were unlocked and they're not. They can't sell their tokens. They're going to be stuck for a rug pull.
Asking him about his drone. Because remember, when you fly these drones, when you set them up, you have to register them. And in China, with all the sophisticated surveillance system and the fact that it's got GPS data built into it and all of that kind of stuff and everything else, credit cards, whatever he used, his WeChat Pay and all that, they knew where he lived and they knew exactly when he would be there. And they came to question him about his drone and they actually harassed him and told him he's not allowed to fly it in the capital. And if they catch him flying it, then, it's big trouble, that type of thing. So, doesn't that tell you a little something here? The company, or the country that manufactures this, complain about, America's being so bad because they're trying to ban us and saying it's a national security threat. When their masters in Beijing do the same thing to them and they stay silent because they know they cannot challenge it and they know that it's the truth. And the Beijing government does this a lot. It's this projection. They ban Teslas from entering any government properties. In certain areas of the country, Teslas are not even allowed to enter. And that's because the Chinese government knows how they can leverage their own EVs as spy tools. They know how easy it is, and so they're afraid that the Americans will do what they do. And they're afraid that DJI drones will be used in Beijing how they intend to use it in the US and other countries. Now let's get onto those stories. So, I actually got footage of the first one. I went down to the Shimin Zhongxin, which is this beautiful building in Shenzhen. One thing that I just to be fair here, when you see this beautiful architecture in China and there's these interesting buildings, you have to understand that the majority of them are not Chinese designs. In other words, the architects who built them or the design firm that designed it is not from China. They're usually from France or Italy or, Europe or the US or something like that. You can look it up. Go look up China's most famous buildings and find out who the architects were. Usually, in 99% of the cases, you'll find out that they weren't Chinese. So when I say this beautiful building, it was a beautifully designed building in Shenzhen, as like the Civic Center is what it's called. And it always struck me as being a very interesting looking building. This is still fairly early days, I'd say probably we're talking 2016 or so. When I say early drone flying days, I got my first drone. In fact, a very generous subscriber and good friend of mine who sadly passed away, he actually gifted me a drone when I came to visit America for the first time and actually drove across the country in my Corvette. I bought a Corvette, and even though I was only here for a month, I think, drove across country. And after the trip, he lent me a drone, and after the trip, he actually gifted it to me, which was one of the most generous things anyone had ever done for me, and I will always be grateful for that. And also really, really gave me a good insight to the psyche of America and just how generous, in general, most Americans are. And I think Americans get a bad rap for no reason, but I digress. So this would have been right after I came back from my trip. We're talking 2016 here. And I had my new drone, and I was like, you know what? I can't wait to try this thing out. I flew it from my building, show my wife, my girlfriend at the time, and I was having a great time testing it out and getting lots of very cool footage, including my...
I 100% think they would manipulate this data and store it for later. I mean, even if they never use it, they're still not going to not store the data, you know what I mean? Like, they're going to have it.
YouTube videos, and I thought, I love that building. I really want to go and take a shot of that building up in...
Ooh, is this on Chud?
But, I'm not a fool, and when it comes to China, I know that you've got to be careful about what you do and where you go. So I went down to the area to make sure that it was okay to fly a drone. I looked around and I saw some local Chinese guys flying a drone. Just locals. They didn't look like they were, officials or anything. Just random, dudes just like me walking around in the park, and they had their drone. They're flying it and playing around with it and stuff. So I thought, cool. All right, it's obviously okay to fly a drone here because I'm not going to try and break any laws or cause any trouble. And remember, at that time, there were no laws surrounding flying drones in China. It was kind of a wild west. Later on, they made it incredibly strict. You can't do it now, and there's all these things you try to run. You try to take off, it won't let you, and all the geo-fencing and everything. But I thought, okay, cool. Let's go check it out. So these guys are flying their drone, so I set up my drone, but I thought I'll be discreet. I'll just go stand behind. There was this, I don't know if it was a little statue or something in the middle of the square there. I stood behind it, kind of out of sight of everyone, just in case anyway, and I took the drone off, and I'm busy getting a shot of the building, which you'll see here. And I hear behind me, the dude's like, "Shala!" And I'm like, "What?" And this very angry-looking, official-looking, I don't know if I call him a security guard, more like a military-looking dude, was telling me to bring it down right now. Okay, so I was like, "Okay, sorry, sorry." So I bring it down, and it lands pretty much, where it took off from. And I, luckily, in my head, I was like, this is not good, and I'm definitely going to get into trouble here, because I could tell by the tone of this guy. And he had gotten on his radio and he was calling people. So I went to the drone, I picked it up, and there's a little micro SD card in the corner, like obviously these newer ones that's sitting on the back, but this was a Phantom 4, so it was big. It was this big white sort of hexagonal looking, you know what I'm talking about. So just on the side, down on the module, you can take out the SD card. So sleight of hand, I popped the SD card out and, slipped it into my pocket. And suddenly these soldiers appeared. Now, of course, the Shimming Zhongxin, you do see some uniformed soldiers around there sometimes. If you go right at the entrance to the Civic Center, so they'd obviously call these guys over. And they start questioning me, and they're like, "What are you doing? What are you doing here? All that." So I told them, "Hey, I just got this new drone. I just wanted to test it." And I'm like, "Look, there's no SD card in it or anything. I'm not recording anything. I just took it off to see if it'll fly. And this is a nice open area. I saw some other guys flying." And then they were like, ignoring what I was saying, and at the same time, the guy in the background on the radio was talking to his superior. And I could hear, because I can understand Chinese, and he said, there's a foreigner here, and he's flying a drone, a Wurunji, what should we do about it? And it was that kind of spine-chilling thing where what they're saying is, there is a foreigner here, he's spying, what are we going to do about it type thing. So obviously they were having a back and forth. And at that moment, while they were having a back and forth, so there's about 4 of these military guys, and then there's that initial security guard guy, and they're kind of talking. As this happened, a stroke of luck, which I cannot even comprehend to understand how and why it happened, but there was a stroke of luck. A group of tourists, when I say tourists, domestic tourists, because, China, they don't have a lot of international tourism for many reasons, good reasons too, even though they pretend like there's a lot of tourists coming over. The majority of tourists, if they say international tourists, it's usually short haul from Korea or Japan, because it's very easy for them to do a day trip and go back, Hong Kong and stuff. But, domestic tourists, they've come from another city, they're not familiar with Shenzhen, and that particular place was quite a well-known landmark. People go there and take photos because the building's interesting. I'm pretty sure you agree it's pretty cool looking. So this group of tourists, like a rowdy group of middle-aged women and men, they came up and they were asking the security guards questions about where the bathrooms were and stuff. And there was a moment that they were distracted. And they were busy talking to this group. And I seized that moment. I thought, this is my chance. I picked up my drone, which I'd already put back in the box. It's got this weird styrofoam box thing that you carry around. I picked up my drone, I turned around, and I just walked. And I just walked straight. And I just pretended like nothing was wrong, and I just walked. And I walked, and I walked, and I walked, and I walked, and I kept going. And I was expecting at any minute for somebody to run up behind me and grab me by the shoulder or to shout at me or something. But I think they made a decision that it was too much hassle to chase after me. And so I just walked until I got into a nearby subway station, and I just left. And that was an incredibly close encounter, because I've got friends who've actually been arrested for flying drones. This happened after this, of course, and interrogated and taken to the Public Security Bureau and stuff for flying drones. So I was always very careful about flying drones from then on out. If I was going to fly anywhere that was interesting or something like that, I would find a place to launch the drone from, like the top of a building or something, where it wasn't very obvious. Now the second time was actually even more serious. And you know what? I just have to tell you that, again, why I don't fly these drones here in the USA is, and I've got lots of nice USA footage, I'll show you here, but that's usually mainly from my first trip before I'd actually started living here. And we did a couple of ADV China videos where we drove to the Salton Sea in California and a couple of other interesting places, which I filmed on drone. But it's because people
think of how much data. So in China, basically, if you have a company that's a decent size, a member of the government's part of the board of directors, almost guaranteed, a loyal member of the government. Think of how much data they have from just their drones flying around everywhere.
And, that's why I'm very happy to recommend to all of you Incogni. Sponsor or not, this has been the most, you never know where you can nail your search websites into these PI tools, into credit brokerages and all sorts of crap. So the thing is, when you've got malicious people trying to dox you and find where you are and focus and get your information removed, they also have this family plan, family unlimited plan, which get rid of it. Oh, number, it'll have lots of that stuff. You know, it's true that they can't hurt you if they can't find you. So if you want to take your personal data back, go to incogni.com/Winston and use code Winston at checkout to get up to 60% off. Link is down in the description below. Fantastic company, and I can wholeheartedly recommend it. This is not nonsense. I use it, and it's very effective. So let's get on to that second story. So this was crazy, and I hope you bear with me because this is quite the long story, but it's very fascinating. So during the filming of Conquering Northern China, which is one of my television documentaries, I'm incredibly proud of it. We did a fantastic adventure. It was just so much fun. I think it's on Amazon Prime right now if you wanted to go watch it. But I'm also figuring out a way to get it released for free here on YouTube, and I'm working on that at the moment, and I'll let you guys know how that's going. But during the process of filming that, it was difficult. I mean, we were trying our best to showcase the best parts of China during that documentary, and I think we pulled it off. You know, the northeastern parts of China, Dongbei, and you know, we went up to the border of North Korea, we went to the border of Russia, but all the interesting things that we saw in between were fantastic. Inner Mongolia and you know, Harbin and all entries, because you know what, like Mongolia, who was going to help.
I'm tired of listening to him. He's fucking yapping too much. Let's go check out on Chud's.
In a development that will surprise no one, the guy who made an internet brand out of racist content, harassment, and intimidation of black people is facing attempted murder charges for shooting a black man. Dalton Etherly, known online as Chud the Builder, is a jerk-ass nuisance streamer so racist that white supremacist Nick Fuentes said he's overdoing it.
He screwed up royally, and now he is done.
Unsurprisingly, Chud is a frequent flyer at Tennessee's Montgomery County Court, where there are 2 order of protection cases, a harassment case, a contempt of court case, and a handful of other matters against him. But he's a busy guy with a daily quota of N-words to scream at pedestrians. And on May 9th, 2026, he was arrested for allegedly throwing a temper tantrum at a restaurant and walking out on a $370 bill. Days later, he shot a man at a Tennessee courthouse, adding a few new charges to his long history of legal infractions: possession of a firearm with intent, reckless endangerment, aggravated assault, and attempted first-degree murder. He's now facing up to 60 years in prison. So let's break it down. What happened? What are the charges? What defenses will Chud's attorney raise? And what might happen next? Chud the Builder claims that his super racist origin story started sometime in 2024 or 2025 when he engaged in a little road rage racism. According to Chud's own admissions, during a driving dispute with a black woman and her daughter, he called the daughter a racial slur.
She starts yelling at me, saying, "What the fuck's your problem? What's your problem?" I said, "Ninja, just doing the speed limit." And then as soon as I said that, she threw her drink out the window. She said, "Ninja."
The woman then took a picture of him and posted on a Facebook group about bad drivers, along with a summary of the incident. Chud claims that because of that picture, he was fired from his contracting job. Now, some people would take this as an opportunity to engage in a little self-reflection and consider changing their ways, but not Chud. The lesson Chud learned was that jerk-offs caught on camera shouting racial slurs get a lot of clicks. So why be a racist ass clown when you can be a racist ass clown holding the camera?
We got 18 rounds for you. We ain't got nothing else. Don't follow me in my truck. Like, I mean, you're pandering to the bro. We already know that's what you're doing. Yeah, you too. Go out. Nah, you watch what you say. Or what?
Like a lot of the worst people on the internet, Chud claims that he's just a free.
He baits these files.
Warrior. His detractors are persecuting him. We've covered this many times before, but freedom of speech prevents the government from prosecuting you for most, not all, speech. It doesn't ensure that you don't have to face any social or reputational consequences for being a racist asshole.
Hey, Scal, sorry to interrupt, but I want to give you a pro tip that helps create some distance between you and armed racist jackasses. They can't harass you if they. I've been using Incogni. Privacy is important to you, but since he formally.
Damn, Incogni sponsors a lot of these fucking videos, huh?
His career as an internet racist, Chud has had a lot of legal troubles. Court records show that 2 women have filed orders of protection against him. There's also a separate charge for harassment and a charge for contempt of court last year. Then, in May 2026, he was arrested after an incident at Bob's Steak and Chop House in Nashville. The restaurant staff apparently asked Chud not to livestream. He refused to comply and then started hurling racist slurs and causing a scene. He stormed out, refusing to pay his nearly $400 bill.
Hey man, don't get aggressive with me. We'll get up and leave. Thanks for the free food. Hey, no, Bob's Steakhouse. Oh no, we're not paying shit. Y'all are kicking me out, or are we staying? No, you're paying. Oh, you think?
He was charged with theft of services, disorderly conduct, and resisting arrest. He was released on a $5,000 bond. Now, Chud's racist antics have gained.
It's like a few $100 bill.
More than 200,000 followers on Twitter, X. For a little while, he also had a large following on Kick, the place where streamers banned from Twitch go to die. But then he got permanently banned from Kick after live streaming a series of videos where he verbally abused and harassed black people. But there's no bottom to the internet, so Chud moved right over to Pump, the off-Broadway for Klansmen, Nazis, and scammers, where he also got his own meme coin. This being the internet in 2026, racist clickbait is apparently a profitable second career, but not profitable enough to keep Chud out of debt collection. Court records show that he's been taken to court at least twice by creditors, and one of those lawsuits brought him to the Montgomery County Courthouse in Clarksville, Tennessee, where he was supposed to attend a hearing on the morning of May 13th. Instead, Chud brought a gun and ended up racking up much more serious charges. According to CNN, on the afternoon of his hearing, Chud got into a verbal argument with a black man in front of the courthouse.
I still don't understand about, he was supposed to appear in court that morning. Why would he have a gun on him? You can't get into the courtroom with a gun.
The incident was apparently captured by the courthouse's surveillance footage, as well as an eyewitness. For reference, Chud is the silhouette with the longer hair coming in from the left of this video.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Holy here! Somebody got shot. Yeah. Oh my God.
Unfortunately, that video only starts after the altercation was underway, but the arrest warrant obtained by CNN gave more context. According to CNN, the warrant reported that Chud turned his body towards the man in a bladed stance. For anyone who's not familiar with combat lingo, that's a narrowed fighting stance where your body is angled towards your opponent. It's supposed to create a smaller target. It's meant to appear badass, but given the person involved, it probably looked more like this. Let me at him! Let me at him! The arrest warrant stated that then Chud reached into his jacket pocket for a firearm, and a physical altercation followed. Chud fired his weapon, striking the man multiple times. The other man, later identified as a black disabled veteran named Joshua Fox, was transported to a hospital in Nashville via helicopter where he underwent emergency surgery. Fox survived the attack. The Montgomery County Sheriff's Office released a statement detailing the incident, stating that deputies detained 2 adult males involved in a physical altercation that escalated to gunfire. Both individuals sustained gunshot wounds during the incident. So both men were apparently shot, which was puzzling since only one man, Chud, appeared to have a weapon. So how did Chud get shot? Well, apparently he managed to shoot himself in the arm during this altercation, which may have been the universe dishing out a little poetic justice. And now the legal system is dishing out its own justice. On May 15th, Chud was charged with attempted murder, possessing a firearm during a dangerous felony, aggravated assault, and reckless endangerment with a deadly weapon. Let's start with aggravated assault. This is defined in Tennessee Code 3913-102. A person commits aggravated assault when they intentionally or knowingly commit an assault as defined in section 3913-101. And the assault, 1, results in serious bodily injury to another, or 3, involve the use or display of a deadly weapon. So the threshold question is, was there an assault under section 3913-101? Well, under that provision, a person commits assault when they intentionally, knowingly, or recklessly cause bodily injury to another. Does shooting count as causing bodily injury under the assault statute? Yeah, it definitely counts. And Chud probably met the requirement for parts 1 and 3 under the aggravated assault provision because shooting someone multiple times and sending them into emergency surgery is serious bodily injury and involved the use of a deadly weapon. What an overachiever! So let's move on to reckless endangerment with a deadly weapon. This is codified in Tennessee Code section 3913-103, which says that someone commits reckless endangerment when they recklessly engage in conduct that places or may place another person in imminent danger of death or serious bodily injury. Again, shooting someone multiple times and sending them into emergency surgery seems to fit the bill here. So unless there's a defense, and we'll get to that in a minute, the prosecutor should have a pretty easy time with this charge since there are multiple witnesses and a couple videos. Now let's look at possessing a firearm during a dangerous felony. This is codified in Tennessee Code section 3917-1324 sub A, which makes
I can't wrap my head around if he was supposed to be in court and that's the reason he was there. Why the fuck did he have a gun to begin with?
Possess a firearm or antique firearm with the intent to go armed during the commission of or attempt to commit a dangerous felony. A dangerous felony includes attempted murder. The prosecutor will have to prove that Chud had a firearm, which shouldn't be too hard since there are witnesses, videos, and bullets. They'll have to show that the gun and felony were connected. For this, courts typically consider whether the firearm was accessible during the felony. This part should be pretty easy to prove, considering that Chud fired the gun during the scuffle. And lastly, the prosecutor will have to prove that Chud committed or attempted one of the listed felonies. In this case, that would be attempted murder. This will probably be the sticking point. If that underlying attempted murder charge gets dismissed or doesn't get proved, then the gun charge will also potentially fall apart, which brings us to the most serious charge, attempted murder. This is where things get legally interesting, and some of that origin story information about Chud becomes very relevant. Under Tennessee Code section 3913-202, first-degree murder is a premeditated and intentional killing of another. Since the victim survived, Chud's actions would be attempted murder, not actual murder. In Tennessee, under section 3912-102, you can be charged with an attempted crime even if the crime isn't completed. If prosecutors can show that you intended to commit the crime and took a meaningful step toward making it happen, that's enough. I'm just spitballing, but I'd say that pulling out a gun and shooting someone multiple times probably qualifies as a meaningful step. Under the first-degree murder statute, premeditation is required, and it's defined as an act done after the exercise of reflection and judgment. Premeditation means the intent to kill must have been...
They gotta bring up a social media post for this, right?
...formed prior to the act itself. Now, you may be wondering why the prosecution would pursue first-degree murder, which requires premeditation, instead of manslaughter, second-degree murder, or some other easier-to-prove charge that doesn't have that intent requirement. And the answer is that Chud himself created plenty of publicly available evidence that this was a premeditated act.
Yeah.
A warning to viewers, the content we're including here is offensive. We obviously don't condone any of the language or actions in these videos or social media posts, but we're including this because it's legally relevant evidence, which has already been considered by the judge when he determined Chud's bail and will likely be presented during Chud's trial, at least in part. Chud had previously posted plenty of videos of himself harassing black people and even assaulting them, including a video of him pepper spraying a black man after an altercation that Chud appears to have started. You heard me. And in this video, posted before the shooting, Chud describes a scenario that's eerily similar to the shooting.
Chud the Builder, known for starting and harassing people. Starting things and instigating and harassing people, shoots and kills a black man. That's what I was going to say all over the headlines. Watch me shoot this. Hey, bro, pull up. Pull up. As soon as I see you, bro. Your brains out.
He declares this is proper escalation and inevitable.
It's only like the proper escalation, you know? It's only inevitable.
As he chews his steak, he calmly declares that this will start a race war.
Pull his gun out and try to him out to defend myself. And then the race war will begin.
Maybe this was the dinner he skipped out on? Nah. Looks like he's wearing a different shirt. I guess steak with a side of racism is Chud's favorite meal. On Twitter, X, Chud also declared his intentions. In December 2025, he declared that the day he kills a black man is the day the white man takes this country back. On May 4th, 2026, it was more of the same. And just days before the shooting, he posted that series finale is dead chimp on the pavement and you monkeys rioting when I walk free. Stay tuned. So if I were prosecuting this case, I would definitely bring up all those examples to show that before Chud ever showed up at that courthouse or pulled out his gun, he was intending to kill someone. The shooting was committed after the exercise of reflection and judgment. Whether a judge allows it in, we'll see. Chud thinks he has a case-winning argument, though. Self-defense.
Hey, real quick, whether you're a prosecutor like Scalwell who deals with thousands of documents to put bad guys like Chud in jail, or your business has more information to deal with than there are hours in the day, you're going to need help staying on top of everything. And that's why I enthusiastically recommend and use Zapier, who sponsored this portion of today's video. Zapier is a suite of user-friendly automation tools that I've been using for years and couldn't run all my businesses without it. Zapier gets all the apps that I use every day to talk to one another, from Gmail to Google Docs to Shopify to email clients, so nothing gets lost and the important stuff gets done. In my law firm legal team, we have tons of unique emails that we need to send to new clients that are based on their unique needs. And the best way to send these emails is by getting everything to talk to each other.
I'm on this website, this pump.fun website, and it's got bounties out. Here's the first one for $56,000. Description: think you've got what it takes? Place a live bet on howl.com, howl.gg from the summit of Mount Everest. Prove it and claim this bounty. Location: the bet must be placed on the genuine summit of Mount Everest, not the base camp, not a camp en route, not a nearby peak, the actual top. Minimum bet: a real money wager of at least $5 US. must be placed on the active how.com, how.gg game while at the summit. Real account. The bet must be made from a verifiable how.com, how.gg account. Account details must match the claimant submitting the proof. Documentation required. The tent must be filmed in a single continuous unedited video showing your face, the summit surroundings, how.com, how.gg, app open on your device, and the bet being placed and confirmed in real life. Extensive proof. In addition to the video, you must provide a GPS altimeter data or a geotag timestamp confirming summit location, a screenshot of the confirmed bet, date and time matching your footage, how.com, how.gg, account ID, and transaction reference for verification, corroborating evidence where possible, expedition logs, guide confirmation, summit photos. No AI or fabrication. Any AI generated, edited, deepfake, staged, or otherwise manipulated footage with the proof of proof results. In addition, will be immediate disqualification and permanent ban from future bounties. All submissions will be reviewed for authenticity. There can only be one winner. The bounty is paid to the first claimant whose proof is fully verified. Decision is final. Safe and liability. Participants attempt this totality at their own risk. Mountaineering at extreme altitude is dangerous. You are solely responsible for your own safety, permits, guides, and compliance with local laws and regulations. Your casino accepts no liability. Good luck, everyone. What are these fucking bounties? Bet a world record running in meme coin mascot. Global fan map challenge for the World Cup. Help Atelier win the Pump Fun Hackathon. I guess I don't understand. Like, I see some streamers here, right? And it says like their stream, like this guy says his streams were $259,000. He's a stream and he's like a streamer and a meme coin. I don't understand what's fucking happening here. All right, if I go over to live. Somebody streaming called Bull with a Hat. At least seems like everybody's streaming around crypto shit.
If you can, if it's possible.
Oh my God. That's Gypsy Crusader.
If you're going to talk like a nigger.
Oh my God. Nope. Not going, never mind.
And all the other businesses use Zapier too. For example, when one of them makes a sale, we use Zapier to tell our email client to send a confirmation email. And at the same time, Zapier updates the CRM with what the customer bought and why. Again, it's how we get all of our different platforms legal, or I will see you in court.
Chud is leaning hard into the idea that this was justified.
Should have known.
He's the victim here. After the shooting, he live streamed himself discussing the shooting, of course. In his live stream, he recounted walking past a group of people who Chud said were laughing and pointing at me. Chud said he was told to walk away by one unidentified man in the group, who then approached him saying, "I have PTSD." According to Chud, the man proclaimed, "You start saying all that chimp out shit at me, and I'ma hit you," and he hit me. He started wailing on me even after I had to defend myself by shooting him. Chud is right that Tennessee does allow for the use of deadly force in self-defense. Tennessee is a stand your ground state. That means that individuals may use force, including deadly force, to defend themselves against a perceived imminent threat of death or great bodily harm without first attempting to retreat. Tennessee Code Section 3911611 says that as long as someone isn't engaged in a serious crime and isn't in a place they aren't permitted to be, they have no duty to retreat if they reasonably believe the force is immediately necessary to protect against the other's use or attempted use of unlawful force. Unfortunately for Chud, there's a caveat there. Self-defense doesn't apply if the person using force provoked the other individual's use or attempted use of unlawful force. According to news reports, the evidence presented at Chud's hearing included surveillance footage showing Chud approaching Fox, who was present at the court for a child support hearing, and getting into a verbal altercation. Chud, who was holding a selfie stick, walked away, but then reached for a firearm in his jacket pocket after Fox approached him. Chud claimed that he was reaching for mace, but according to investigators, the footage showed him trying to pull a clearly visible gun out of his jacket pocket. Chud's attorney argued that his client was placed in a headlock during the physical altercation that followed as he tried to pull out his gun. But the lead investigator said the surveillance video didn't corroborate that. So would this be a provocation that would negate his self-defense claim? It definitely seems like it. The devil will be in the details here, though. The jury will have to evaluate every aspect of Chud's interaction with Fox. If I were the prosecutor, I would try to introduce into evidence Chud's history of social media provocations.
I'm kind of worried about a Tennessee jury.
Incident where he previously pepper sprayed someone in a publicly posted video, and his concrete threats about shooting black people. But the most important facts are that Chud had a weapon and he reached for it after the verbal confrontation, because those behaviors in particular would likely be sufficient to show that he provoked the conflict under Section 3911611 sub E. For now, though, it looks like Chud is going to be hanging out in jail for a while, and he won't even get to complain about the injustice on social media. On May 22nd, after Chud and supposedly his fiancée continued to make incendiary posts on social media, Judge H. Reed Poland III issued a gag order. Judge Poland declared continued extrajudicial statements by the defendant concerning the facts, evidence, witnesses, or merits of this case pose a substantial likelihood of materially prejudicing the defendant's right to a fair trial by an impartial jury in this county. sovereignty. Now, for sure, Chud will complain that he's being oppressed and his First Amendment rights are being violated. And it's true, as I said a few minutes ago, that the First Amendment does generally prohibit the government from restricting speech. It's fairly unusual for a judge to do something like this. But it's also permissible under certain narrow circumstances, which Judge Poland addressed in his order, stating that this prohibition is narrowly tailored to serve the compelling interest of ensuring a fair trial while preserving the defendant's First Amendment rights to the maximum extent possible. The judge clarified that Chud could still continue to make general statements asserting his innocence, commenting on the general nature of the charges against him, or discussing matters of public record. And because all of the internet's worst people are apparently in their own anti-justice league, Jake Lang, one of the Trump-pardoned January 6th insurrectionists, showed up at Chud's hearing to disrupt the proceedings. He was removed from the courtroom and received a 10-day jail sentence for contempt, the maximum sentence under state law. Judge Poland set Chud's bond at $1 million. Chud's online antics and the fact that a search of his home revealed an airline ticket to Istanbul for May 22nd, a bulletproof vest, ammunition, a rifle, and a shotgun probably didn't help his bond case. The shooting charges were later transferred to Montgomery County Circuit Court, where Judge Bill Goodman refused to lower the bond amount. The judge explained that the bond amount was in line with state law, which declares that a judge shall set a defendant's bond no less than twice the normal amount when that defendant is already out on bail for previous criminal cases. As we already said, Chud has outstanding charges for harassment and the incident at Bob's Steak and Chop House. Chud took his sob story to the internet, where racists contributed more than $300,000 for his defense. But Judge Goodman ruled that Chud can't use that money for bond. That won't matter, though, because Chud is already headed for jail in the Bob's Steak and Chop House case. Judge Melissa Blackburn revoked Chud's bond after hearing where the prosecutor cited the separate shooting case and some of Chud's online greatest hits. Judge Blackburn said her decision was based on what I've seen on social media and Mr. Etherly's behavior. So it looks like Chud won't be posting many more updates for the time being. All those internet racists will just have to go back to watching polite racist Nick Fuentes.
You know, all this highlights why it's so important to get a great lawyer when you're dealing with your own case. Now, after I started the channel, every week I get hundreds of comments and emails from viewers who are dealing with legal problems. And they'd ask, can you help me find a lawyer? How do I know if this attorney is any good? And there's a massive gap in our justice system. Is that people don't know how to find the right lawyer for their specific situation. They're scared, they're overwhelmed, and they end up doing nothing or hiring the first attorney who calls them back. And that really bothered me. So I started to wonder, what if there was a different way? What if we could build a law firm that actually lived up to the values that I talk about on this channel? Transparency, accessibility,
I'll let him do his
instead of chasing billable hours. A firm where you don't need to pay anything up front, and your lawyers only get paid if you do, to maximize your opportunity for justice. So a few years ago, I decided to fix that problem. I decided to start my own personal injury law firm. And honestly, it wasn't an easy choice. But I realized I was in this unique position. I had this platform, this community, and the experience. Not to get rich, trust me, there are easier ways to make money than starting a law practice. But we did it because access to justice shouldn't be a luxury. Because finding the right legal representation shouldn't feel like playing Russian roulette with your future. And when you work with my firm, you're not...
You don't just need a legal team. You need the eagle team.
Over the last year and a half, our president, Donald Trump, has turned the White House into a 24/7 corruption operation. This is a national crisis, and we should start acting like it. The president's goal is to engage in so much corruption, so much self-enrichment, to hand out so many favors to his friends, his family, and his political allies that it just becomes the pitter-patter of rain. It's normal, it's constant, it's never-ending. Trump's bet is that if there's a new story of corruption, of self-dealing, every few days, that the press will stop covering it, or the public will just stop paying attention. To an extent, he is tragically succeeding. But he's also betting that the public will just come to the conclusion that this is normal because all of our politics are this corrupt, that every senator, that every previous president is this corrupt. That is not true. While I disagree with my Senate Republican colleagues' decision to largely remain silent in the face of this misconduct, it is true that not a single senator on either side of the aisle engages in the behavior that our president does. Senators, Republicans and Democrats, do not trade our votes for cash or for political contributions. We don't run side hustles like crypto companies. Senators don't give contracts to their kids just because we can. And no president in the history of this country has done what Donald Trump has done. No president has done 5% of the self-dealing that Donald Trump has done in the last year and a half. This moment is exceptional. It is a one-of-one moment. And if it becomes normal, if people stop being outraged at what he is doing to enrich himself, then I fear there is no going back. The White House will just become a place to get rich. So I think it's time to pull back and see the full picture. To not view this as just one isolated scandal after another, every single one popping up each week or every few days, but to understand the full scope of this illegality. Last year, I came to the floor to document the first 100 days of Donald Trump's mind-blowing corruption. Since then, especially in 2026, the pace of his misconduct has quickened dramatically. And so I'm here on the floor today, and I'm going to spend more than a few minutes doing this, laying out what has happened since I gave that last speech. This is the story of 500 days of corruption. And I'm going to start on April 7th, 2025. This is when the current acting Attorney General, Todd Blanche, issues a memo ordering the termination of several Biden-era DOJ investigations into crypto companies. Now, here's the problem. The then Deputy Attorney General is a major investor in crypto companies, and he works for a president who is a major player in the crypto industry. But DOJ just drops these investigations, signals that the Department of Justice is no longer going to hold crypto companies accountable. But Blanche owns major investments in crypto stocks. The president is one of the biggest players in the industry. Blanche doesn't actually stop there. He eliminates the entire enforcement team at DOJ dedicated to rooting out crypto-related fraud and money laundering schemes. This is a crypto investor who works for a president who owns crypto companies, shutting down the unit at DOJ that holds this industry accountable. Let's move to 3 weeks later, on April 30th. Later in the month, a curious announcement from the Department of Agriculture. They are reversing a rule that would require poultry companies to limit salmonella bacteria levels in their products. This is essentially a rule to make it less likely that people will get salmonella poisoning. It sounds like a strange rule to eliminate. We come to find out that one of the biggest donors to Donald Trump's inauguration was a poultry company called Pilgrim's Pride. They made a donation to Trump's inauguration that was bigger than practically any other company, bigger than Amazon, Meta, or Exxon, $5 million. And after they made the donation, they asked for one thing, the reversal of the salmonella rule, and they got it. This is pay for play. You make a donation to the president or the president's political operation, you ask for a favor, and you get it. And we will see as we wind through these 500 days, this happens over and over again. In May 2005, the pardon racket starts. Every member of the Senate should be outraged at this. You all know what is happening. The president is pardoning people based on their ability to pay. Either him,
pay for pardons,
or pay people who are close to the president. On May 27th, Donald Trump pardons a man called Paul Walzak. This is a really bad guy. He stole millions of dollars from the nurses and healthcare aides at the nursing home he owned. And he used the cash that he stole from his employees to buy a $2 million yacht. He got convicted. He went to jail for fraud. But his mother paid $1 million to buy a face-to-face meeting with Donald Trump. And 3 weeks after that paid audience, her son was given a full and unconditional pardon that went so far as to relieve him of any duty to pay back the $4.4 million that he stole from his employees. This is a new pay for pardons scheme that begins in May. In June of 2025, it's revealed that top administration officials are cashing in on government contracts that benefit their own investment portfolio. Stephen Miller is more than just the architect of the administration's hardline immigration policies. He has a personal financial stake in them. For instance, Miller owns up to $250,000 in Palantir stock. And just a month before Miller's holdings became public, ICE announced that it was awarding a $30 million contract to, you guessed it, Palantir, to provide real-time surveillance information to ICE officers. And you'll be shocked to hear this. There was no competitive bidding process for that contract. And you'll hear this over and over again. Competitive bidding basically doesn't exist. If the president or somebody close to the president wants a contract directed to a friend or to a company in which they invest, Miller overseeing ICE, ICE gives a no-bid contract to Palantir. The investors in Palantir, which include Stephen Miller, get rich. Let's move to September of 2025. In September, we start to learn the danger of Donald Trump's crypto corruption. I covered this in the first 100 days of corruption. This is maybe the most corrupt thing that Trump is doing. He and his family own a crypto company that issues several crypto coins. There's no disclosure on who is buying those coins. The president promotes them. He invites people to official events who purchase the coin. On September 18th, though, we come to find out that Trump made $57 million selling crypto tokens to entities associated with the regimes in North Korea, Iran, and Russia. Extraordinary investments being made by entities that are tied in with North Korea, Iran, and Russia into Trump's crypto companies. It begs the question, as we are currently debating an Iran deal that basically exists on Iran's terms, why was there a flood of money from Iranian regime-backed entities into the Trump crypto companies? Why were they putting that investment in? What did they expect to get from the president? We've never, ever before had this exist. We've never had a backdoor mechanism by which foreign governments could just—
He does a good job of laying it out, right?
Of the president. It exists because
Chris Murphy, I think is his name.
Meme coin and a stable coin. On September 23rd, this is a week later, it's now pretty obvious that there's a pay-to-play regime in charge of the White House. A week later, on September 23rd, Donald Trump closes the books on a criminal investigation into one of his key advisors, Tom Homan. This is his border czar. The FBI had caught Tom Homan red-handed, engaging in naked corruption. Undercover agents had handed him $50,000 in cash, in a bag, and he agreed to give them government contracts. This was on video. This is the border czar getting a bag of cash in exchange for contracts on video. But the administration on September 20th just makes the investigation go away because that kind of bribery, that kind of naked graft is okay in this White House. We're moving on to October 2025 right now, 2 weeks after Homan is let off. Maybe the most nakedly corrupt pardon. There's not a single senator that could defend this. Changpeng Zhao built an entire business based on allowing terrorists, drug traffickers, and sex predators to use his cryptocurrency to evade the law. He went to jail for this. But he also helped Trump launch his crypto business. So who cares about financing terrorists and sex criminals? Trump gives this guy a full pardon on October 7th. It's naked. This is a guy who built a company that allowed terrorists and sex predators to engage in private financing. He went to jail. He got out of jail because he agreed to help get Trump rich. We're still in October. Later that month, the bulldozers arrived to destroy the East Wing of the White House. It's still amazing to think that that actually happened. And the ballroom corruption racket begins. The word goes out, if you want something from Donald Trump, donate to his ballroom. It's all he cares about. We know that. Donald Trump talks about his ballroom all the time. As of this month, more than half of the publicly identified donors to the Ballroom Project have, since they made their donation, won a new or expanded federal contract, totaling more than $50 billion. More than half of the people who donated to the Ballroom have, since they donated, and this just all kicked off on October 15th. This has only been like 8 months. Half of the people who donated to the Ballroom have gotten a new or expanded federal contract worth $50 billion. Moving on to November of 2025. It's not just Trump's corporate donors that are getting rich now. Part of the White House's daily operation is to find creative ways to funnel taxpayer money to Trump's kids. This one's wild. The Trump administration in November, early November, announces a really unusual deal. The government, the Pentagon, is taking a $50 million stake in a single rare earths minerals company called Vulcan Elements and giving them a $620 million taxpayer-funded loan. That is big money. And the Pentagon doesn't really do deals like this. But they do when Donald Trump Jr. is one of the company's key investors. We come to find out that civil servants in the Pentagon did not want to do this deal, only did it because the White House told them to do the deal. One official said, quote, "The call came from the White House. We have to get this done." Before the deal, Vulcan was worth $200 million. Donald Trump Jr. made an investment. His father got the Pentagon to give them the contracts and buy the stake in the company, and the valuation jumped overnight $200 million to $2 billion. Donald Trump Jr. 10x'd his profits. I mean, how does anybody in this body justify that? You've probably not even heard that story. It barely cracked the news. Like in normal times, that scandal alone, the president's son making an investment in the company, the federal government then making a massive investment subsequently. The Pentagon didn't want to do it, only did it because the president told them to do it after his son made the investment, and the value of the president's son's investment went up by 10 times. That scandal alone would take down a presidency. This one barely gets noticed. 3 days later, news breaks that Trump has ordered all the markets in U.S. Coast Guard bases and facilities to stock his personally branded wine and cider. Directly profiting.
Jesus Christ. It's like it's made up.
That's it. That's not a complicated one. That's just like ordinary ho-hum corruption. Nobody even knows that that happened, that exists, because this all feels normal now. We are not out of November yet, fellas. 2 weeks later, you feel this, right? The pace now is quickening. Trump releases the head of a nursing home empire, Joseph Schwartz, from prison. This guy, similar to the other guy, scammed his patients, his employees, and the IRS out of tens of millions of dollars. He was a tax cheat. People died in his facilities due to his negligence. He was just stealing money from his nursing homes. But he paid $1 million to Trump-connected lobbyists. And Trump pardoned this fraudster after serving 3 months. There was no claim that he was innocent. There was no claim that the trial was rigged. No, this guy was convicted of massive fraud. He hurt people, and he got out of jail because he paid the right lobbyists who were connected to Trump. This is how it all works. It's not just Trump getting rich. It's not just Trump's sons getting rich. It's about everybody connected to the president getting rich. This pardon for cash scheme. All right, we're into December now. 2 weeks later, out of the blue, the Trump administration revokes a Biden-era rule, this is back to nursing homes, to ensure that nursing homes have sufficient staffing to meet the basic standards of care. We have a lot of evidence that understaffed nursing homes have higher mortality rates, but this rule is now rescinded. And guess what we find out? We find out that nursing home executives got together, paid to have a private lunch with Donald Trump, because remember, you can pay millions of dollars to Trump-affiliated political entities, and you will get a private audience with him. At lunch, they asked him to revoke this rule, and he immediately ordered it done. No public discussion, no consideration of the merits. The nursing home executives paid the price to get a lunch. They asked for the rule to be rescinded, and the rules got rescinded. No process, had the lunch, paid the money, asked for the rule to be rescinded. Trump called up, and the rule was rescinded. We're now in 2026. On February 10th, Trump announces that he is, this one's wild.
If you just made a list of like horrible shit he could do, before he even took office, you couldn't guess this much shit. You know what I mean?
February 10th, that he is blocking the opening of a bridge that is ready to open connecting Detroit to Canada. It's ready to open. This is a bridge that's going to help people on both sides of the border. And guess what we find out? The owner of an existing bridge, whose profits would be harmed by the competitor bridge, donated $1 million to get a meeting, this time with Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick. And this isn't within days, this time, within hours of the meeting with the Commerce Secretary. Hours. The owners of the existing bridge got what they wanted. Trump announced that he would block the opening of the bridge. $1 million, a meeting, and a donor gets what they want within hours. The next month, we start to see that Trump's inner circle knows that they can get in on the action. Very few people are closer to President Trump than Corey Lewandowski. And he is, at the time, the special advisor to the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. And Lewandowski is basically like, there are no rules anymore. I can do whatever I want. And so he literally starts to engage in mob-style extortion threats to contractors. He demands direct payments from companies that want DHS contracts for his protection. If you pay me money, I will protect your contracts. And there's plenty of evidence here from the companies themselves who tell the story of when they refuse to pay Lewandowski for protection, mob-style protection. Suddenly their contracts from DHS dry up. A DHS employee confirmed that he received direct instructions to not give a company that didn't pay Lewandowski any more contracts.
Damn.
In April, another scheme to help Donald Trump's kids. For almost 100 years, it has been illegal to ship handguns through the mail, because it's a lot easier for violent criminals to illegally access guns if they can just get those weapons shipped to their front door. But Donald Trump Jr. bought a huge stake in a company that was going to corner the market on the mail order sale of guns. And so Trump's DOJ got to work and declared that this 100-year-old law is magically all of a sudden unconstitutional, clearing the way for another company owned or invested in by Donald Trump Jr. to make big bucks by mailing guns. We're still in April. As the war begins in Iran, Trump's inner circle finds a new way to cash in. They can place bets on prediction markets or in futures markets based on the inside information they have about the war. This is illegal war profiteering. Hours before Trump announces the first Iran ceasefire, a bunch of investors, likely inside the White House, placed approximately $950 million on bets that oil prices would fall. When later that day, Trump announced the ceasefire that sent oil prices tumbling by 15%, those investors got filthy rich. You can literally look at the pace of trades that day. There's this avalanche of trades that happen hours before Trump announces the ceasefire. That can only be because people had inside information. This practice would continue to happen over and over and over. But why do they think they can get away with this? Why does anybody think that they can get away with this? So much of this is illegal, right? You would say to yourself, nobody would engage in that kind of naked illegal practice. Nobody would award contracts to the kids knowing that that doesn't pass legal muster. On April 10th, you figure out why they think they're going to get away with it. On April 10th, Donald Trump makes an explicit promise that everybody engaged in this corruption will get away with it. Here is his quote on April 10th, as the pace of this corruption increases. Quote, "I will pardon everyone within 200 feet of the White House." So now you understand why people think they can get away with it. This is reported on April 27th, so we're still in April. Trump wants to get all his friends involved in the grift now. So Trump gives a no-bid $17 million contract to refurbish 2 fountains near the White House, including the reflecting pool. We're living with the consequences of this corruption right now, as we have a green reflecting pool. This is a completely unqualified contractor who is already in over his head because he's involved in the ballroom, and he gets a new $17 million contract. Does it really cost $17 million to clean up fountains? The answer from the National Park Service itself is no. In fact, the National Park Service was planning to bid that contract out for 1/5 what Trump gave it to his friend for. But it was a no-bid contract. It just went to Donald Trump's friend. The value was wildly inflated. And so now Trump's buddy has an extra $14 million, more than the actual cost of the project. It's your money. The money doesn't grow on trees. This is taxpayer money. It's supposed to cost $3 million. He gave the contract for $17 million. We're still in April. Big Tobacco has wanted for years to break into the $6 billion flavored vape and e-cigarette market. But the FDA, of course, has had regulations to say that you can't sort of run back this old playbook of the tobacco companies marketing to kids. So we haven't allowed them to market these flavored vape products, these bubblegum flavored vape products. I have 2 teenagers. I know exactly what's going on. They are marketing these products to kids.
There are bubblegum flavored, I'm sure. There's Starburst flavored, there's Skittles flavored.
And they weren't allowed to do it. But the tobacco lobbyists did the thing that we've talked about over and over again. They made a $5 million donation. And if you make a $5 million donation, you get a lunch with the president or dinner with the president. So they get this lunch with the president, and they say to the president, just like the nursing home's executive said, I want the vape rule to be rescinded. Surrounded by these big tobacco representatives, President Trump, like at the moment, calls the FDA commissioner and tells them to rescind the regulations. He calls up Dr. Oz. Like, all this is happening immediately, tells him to rescind the regulations. The FDA commissioner resigns in protest. He said in good conscience he couldn't do this. He couldn't be part of this kind of corruption. But on Friday, the FDA announced that it was bypassing all traditional rulemaking to adopt the exact policy that the tobacco executives asked for the weekend before. Less than a week. No rulemaking. FDA commissioner resigns. We're now on to May. Not all the stories of the corruption in this White House require deep journalistic dives into obscure public records. Sometimes you can just log on to YouTube, where you can find the Secretary of Transportation, Sean Duffy's family.
There's so much shit. It doesn't even.
Who is bankrolling this stunt? Who's paying for the gas, the hotels, the cameras, filming his vacation? Not Duffy. It's Toyota, it's Boeing, it's United Airlines. It's all the companies that Secretary Duffy is responsible for regulating. Gas prices are going up. Transportation costs are going up. And the Secretary of Transportation is riding in snowmobiles in Montana paid for by the companies he regulates. Decades ago, that scandal alone, companies you regulate paying for your vacations, would have resulted in a cabinet member resigning in disgrace. My Republican colleagues know this. This didn't used to be acceptable. But in Trump's White House, everyone has their hand out for a payday. It's encouraged. And then finally in May, we discover another monster corruption scheme. The market bets based on inside information have not, in fact, been limited to Trump's staff and friends. The entire time that Trump has been in office, we discover, he has not been putting his money into a blind trust. He has been personally signing off on thousands and thousands of individual trades. No previous president has done this. Here's an example of how it works. Early in the year, Trump buys $1 million of Dell stock. A couple days later, from the White House podium, he boosts the company, Dell, that he just bought stock in. A couple months later, he gives Dell a $10 billion defense contract with the Pentagon. That happens over and over again. The president buys stock, he publicly boosts the company, he gives government work. I know all this feels exhausting, 500 days of corruption, but we've never, ever seen this before. I only listed like half of the publicly disclosed incidents of corruption, and we just can't pretend that this is normal. I'm giving a half an hour to this because this is a serious, serious crisis. The pay-to-play schemes, the pardons for donors, the contracts for friends, the favors for Trump's children, the use of inside information to make money. This is not a disconnected series of scandals. This is a system. Government is supposed to serve us. It is supposed to lower costs. It's supposed to protect our families, strengthen our schools, make life better for people. But Donald Trump believes that government exists to serve him, to make him richer, to protect his friends, to reward his donors. This is why he doesn't have time for you. He doesn't have time to solve real problems, because he's making money for himself and his friends. And he's betting that the corruption will be so constant that we stop hearing it, that the outrage will just turn into exhaustion, and the exhaustion will just turn into acceptance. We can't let that happen, because once corruption becomes normal, it becomes permanent. The White House is not a business opportunity. The presidency is not a license to steal from the American people. The government of the United States doesn't exist to make Donald Trump rich. It belongs to the American people. And after 500 days of corruption, Democrats and Republicans in this body, along with the American people, should start acting like it. I yield the floor.
Insane. Insane. It just adds up so quick. It doesn't even seem like it's fucking real. All right, guys. It's almost 2 a.m. here. I'm out. Thank you all for joining us. I go back to work tomorrow. Hopefully be back in here after that. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being here. Everything's depressing. It's the worst timeline, dude. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being here. Thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. Support the show if you want to. That's how I pay the bills. Or else I just go broke and live under a bridge. Thank you guys for joining us. See you around the next one. Have a good night. Love you. See you. Bye. Where'd my little music thing go? Oh, there it is.
But I can tell you this about if this douchebag happens to see this particular show.
Oh, so now you hate Trump? So funny. Bye.
By name.
Yeah, I fucking hate his guts.
Who they are and tell them the rest of
If I had a gun with 2 bullets.
You don't have balls.
And it was Hitler, Mussolini, and Trump.
Piss him off, it's
I shoot Trump twice.
Get the place in the best, you know that's
not.
Just said. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss him off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. And they say that I'm a lunatic. Well, listen.
Oh yeah, Miss Real Freedom Fighter. A front rumble.
Y'all need Jesus. Praise the Lord.
Have a good day at the gym, bud.
Fucking prophets who profit off of gossip. Worshipping drums, cocking, begging for a throat deposit. Swinging fucking meat hammers like fool in a thong. He's strapped to the shaft, eating his chest like he's King Kong. Starving for attention, I'ma make your gut burst. I'll be your huckleberry, I can quench that thirst. Baby eating lizard people, alien sex. What's next? Trump in a dress, fucking Flynn on his desk. A retard in a vest, climbing up 5G towers. Cause you told him if he did, he'd get fucking superpowers. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss him off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss him off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. I used to find clues too when I was high on shrooms. I found myself a tunnel that led to Jason Q's bedroom. Open his closet, I found some of his meat rockets. I strapped it to my shoes and then I flew through the roof. I found myself in orbit strapped to an F-16. High on amphetamine, with Trump in between. Put on a light coat of baby oil and saluted the troops. He tapped me on the shoulder and said, "This is gonna be it." Whoa, wait. Stop. What? I'll get my files. What are you doing? Stop. Hold on. Fucking stop. Dude, come on. Seriously. This is arms and alcohol. Give me oh my God. Damn it. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss him off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss him off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Round 3. Down goes Nino. Please say it isn't so. Got him backed up on the ropes, trying to ram it down his throat. Now things are getting rocking, he was doing so well. It's all over, hands on his shoulders, they ringing his bell. You got Frog News Network doing no damn research. They rework and copy on cocks that came first. 9th inning, second string, and they acting like they know hitters. Assholes throwing bullshit, sending bronze to the shitter. All this nonsense on my conscience, it's hard to sleep at night. Who the fuck is in my window with this time of the night? These parasites, these leeches, with all their secret meetings, teaching all you fucking cretins about baby eating heathens. Believing in reasons with no meaning is bullshit. Will Bird motherfuckers out here busting the grifts. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss him off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss him off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet.
You don't have those guts, cause you're a pussy.